Hey, it's happened again. Brown, do you know you're muted? Or is it just sort of kicked you off like it did the last time? I think it's happened again. Hello, chat. Thankfully, I'm used to this now. This is the second time this has happened. So I hope you're all very, very well today. Mr. Brown will be here. Either he's muted and deaf, or his computer has crashed and he's stuck on a countdown. So we'll get on with it, and he will rejoin us when he is available. There he goes. You see, I'm a prophet. We have, as usual, things to be talking about. I believe he's got, well, judging by the thumbnail, we've got Little Mermaid, so that'll be fun. The Flash. We have, I actually don't know what else is in the docket. So professionally, we'll just get on with it. We have guests as well. First up, oh no, Brown can do this. You're back. All right, I was literally about to say he's the backbone of Sunday night, so you can pick up the.
Well, I think you're
the
becoming the
script from there.
backbone of Sunday night now. Are you well, Lord?
I'm all right, thank you. How are you?
I'm fine. I was caught in a causality loop of music going
I thought that would
round
happen.
and round and round and round.
But
So,
you're here now, so it's all good.
like a professional, you stepped in. Shall I introduce the guests?
Yeah, go ahead. Shall I
shall
drop
I
myself
st-
off,
oh,
or shall I
no,
stay
no,
here?
no, you stay. Shall we start from the
Okay,
top? So it's
I'll
usually,
stay
hello,
here.
viewer. Today is Sunday, May 28th, 2023. I am Brownout. I trust you are doing very well on this evening's stream /podcast. You know what we're talking about. But before we begin, blah, 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 you can find us here on the YouTube, or if you prefer your entertainment in podcast form, blah, 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 blah. Links are in the description. So if you've not browned out like I have, as I always say, lots to get through, blah, blah, blah. Of course we should, blah, blah, blah. Here we go. Next, we see the good inside our next guest. He's the saver of the stream, you know. It is the Dark Sith Lord. Hello, Lord.
Hello again.
How are you?
Oh, I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Damn StreamYards. Damn StreamYards. How's your channel going, my friend?
All right, I think I've been a bit too busy to check it recently, but yeah, no, it's going well. Peter Pan video, which finally went up after 2 weeks of copyright hell, seems to be
What?
performing reasonably. Yeah, 50 plus uploads, but it got there eventually. I say it got there eventually. The version I appealed 2 weeks previously was the one I eventually went with, but that's all good. And then yeah, so straight on from that to The Little Mermaid, which is what I'll be working on all of this week.
Do we know the duration of the video?
No, my guess is around 90 minutes, and that is a guess. I haven't finished the script yet.
How
But
long's the movie?
movie is 2 hours-ish, I think.
It's a bit over 2 hours, isn't it? Okay.
Yeah, it's a full hour, almost a full hour longer than the original, and it adds nothing and takes away a lot. So that's, par for the course with Disney.
So short by your standards.
Yeah. Well, I've got an ad placement for it, which means I have to have the ad placement done tomorrow. So there's lots of jokes about turning Sebastian into crab cakes and stuff because it's HelloFresh. So obviously I can just do food jokes with that.
I thought you were joking with that.
No, it's genuinely what's happening. And yeah, so the video has to be ready for Wednesday to go out on next Monday. So yeah, it's going to be balls to the wall for the next few days.
First there was Waitrose, then Sainsbury's. Now it's The Little Platoon, sponsored by, who's it?
HelloFresh.
HelloFresh. So everything good then, Lord?
All good, thank you, yes.
Appreciate you saving the stream there, my friend.
That's quite all right.
Shall we get the next body out?
Sounds like a plan.
Okay, he was going to be first up this week, so I'll just do it with the script. First up, he is the wise elder of the channel. You know the rest, he's a great mega geek himself, Ian David Diaz.
What? You call me now? I'm usually last. I wasn't even ready. I was going to take a big bite out of this sandwich, but hey, I'm here, I guess.
Hello, buddy. How are you doing?
I'm all right. It's an honor to be second after Little Platoon. My God, I'm honored. I'm flattered.
You would have been first, but the Lord stepped in.
Absolutely, and quite right too.
We had a brown down. Anyway, so
Right.
you well, Ian? Yes.
Yeah, I'm all right. Rearing to go as always.
Have you been working?
As always. Actually, no. This weekend,
It's bank holiday, isn't it?
I was at Comic Con with the nieces. So
Oh wow.
yeah, they're all dressed as South Park. They're all dressed as South Park, which is hilarious. And
Good choice.
a lot of people were running up to them, wanted photographs and stuff because their costume was so cool. But unfortunately for little Dee Dee, my niece Dee Dee, she was Kenny, so she had to wear that big coat, and it was boiling. It was boiling, so she was suffering. But she was a trooper. She was.
Did you go as chef?
No, I just went as the Mega Geek. Would you believe? And
Oh.
somebody actually recognised me, so I had to run to the hills, mate. So there you go. That's a bit weird.
Wasn't
when that
Rebecca
happens.
Gold, was it?
No, I think it was through the dance channel. In fact, I was talking to someone that was a little kid that was dressed like Matt Smith, and he recognised me. He goes, "Aren't you on that channel, Type 40?" I'm like, "No, it wasn't me. It just looks like me." So yeah, so there you go. But it was fun.
Everything good? Yes. Shall we
Yeah,
get
I'm all right.
the next body out?
Let's get the other body out. Yeah.
Okay, next. Dependable is his middle name. Stepping in where others fail is the game. It's Dark Hour.
Hey, what's up? I'm glad I
Hello.
was able to be part of another. Well, this is my first brownout. I'm part of. I wasn't part of the first one.
Brownouts are not pleasant.
I mean, I think they add a little something to the chat at least. It's not good on your end, but the chat seems to love it.
Did you hear the music play twice, or does it stop?
No, we heard nothing. Stop.
No, we just got it once.
Yeah, it just keeps playing and playing for me.
Well, it's luckily it's a catchy elevator music tune.
Yeah, it is.
Yes, ironically, the stream was going down like an elevator as well.
It's all fine. You're all good.
How's your channel going, my friend?
It's still small but growing. I've a couple videos coming out in the near future. Hopefully one for not nearly as long as Platoons, but one for Little Mermaid, and then I'm going to continue my my fight breakdown series pretty soon. Another Rocky movie, which actually we were talking. It's the 41st anniversary of Rocky 3 today.
41 years today.
Yeah, cool. Yeah,
but
I've never seen Rocky 3. I've seen Rocky 4.
How do you skip 3 and go right to 4? I mean,
I've not seen Rocky 2 either.
Well, that's what my next fight breakdown video is on. So
I don't even think I've seen Rocky, but I've seen Rocky 4 many, many times.
Okay, I think I have to leave the stream now.
I've not even seen Rocky 5.
Well, that's actually probably a good thing.
No, I like Rocky 5. A lot of people like to diss Rocky 5. I like Rocky 5. Don't care what anyone says.
I mean,
I kind of like it.
We can talk about that another time, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's not get bogged down in Rocky.
Okay.
Yeah, not good.
So everything good, my friend? Yes.
Yes, it's all good.
Shall we get the? This is what they've been waiting for. Shall we get the next body out?
Of course.
Okay. Oh, look at this. Timing's everything, folks. Matt G. Bacon.
Bacon.
Yeah. Okay, so here we go. And last, but by no means least, he is the backbone of Sunday nights. Yes. I genuinely love this guy. It is one of the funniest YouTubers on YouTube. It is MattCat83.
What's up, nerds?
Hey.
Thank you for the kind words. I'm. How are you? I'm doing good.
I'm pretty good. I'm going to put you in the middle there.
Yay, where I like it.
Hey, how's your channel going, my friend?
I think it's going good. I'm at like 5,700. So slowly but surely. I'm happy. So it's cool.
Has there been how are the subs climbing steady or
it's always
mine have just
it's always been slowly but surely it's but I'm not really like this is just like a fun thing for me, so I'm not
like
really
these
like
big superstar channels.
They're doing
superstars.
Yeah, they're superstars, so good. And good for them. I'm happy for them. It's
not that you don't deserve your success.
Oh, right. Yeah. I mean, I guess so. I mean, I'm happy where I'm at, so it's cool. It's cool.
It is genuinely great to have you back, my friend.
I'm happy to be back. I always have a good time with you guys.
Shall we get on with it? Yes.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
Do it.
Okay. Hello, chat. We can see you. It is end of week musings. Sunday, May 28th, 2023, episode 146. Can you believe it?
Yeah.
I wasn't really sure which episode it was. The hair was blocking it.
Yes. If you've made it this far and you are enjoying this content, please like, share, subscribe. Every single click will help this channel grow. The subscribers have been very few and far between the last couple of weeks.
Have
Moving
you
on.
got a big celebration plan for episode 150?
No.
Oh,
No. How many have we got to? 4 more.
You should
yeah, there's
do.
plenty of time to plan. It's
Yeah.
a month to
Yeah,
plan.
yeah. It'll be good. Yeah.
150 then. Oof. Can you believe it? Okay, so please consider donating to the channel. The links are in the description or the pinned message. First up,
Yay.
I feel it's only going to be Matthew and I on this one,
Right on. Yeah.
but Superman and Lois.
Yeah, good
I think-
show. I'm sorry, I'm just gonna start. This is a good show. This last episode was better than the previous one. I don't know if I spoilers, but I'm really
Spoilers,
looking
everybody.
forward for Bizarro to get in the mix.
Can't wait.
Yeah, it's like they're like edging us with Bizarro, and I'm all like, can you just let me finish, okay? Because I really want to just see them, let them fight, and they're just like, no, we're just gonna edge you along, and I'm all like, all right, whatever. But yeah, the show's really good. The cancer storyline I feel like is a little is taking a front seat.
It has.
And it's fine. It's just really serious, and I'm all like, I mean, but it's kind of turned into like a This Is Us instead of Superman and Lois a little bit, and that's not my favorite thing on the planet. But at the same
Really?
time, yeah, at the same time though, it's not bad. It's still a good show. Although I was told by a commenter that I'm too old because this show is not for me because I'm old and it's for young people, and I was like, wait, what? What's going on here? What? I'm like, and who you calling old? Okay, I'm
Must be
very
the grey in your beard.
I'm very young.
That's
I'm
me
very-
screwed then.
That's just a general way that people view the CW. That if you're like older than like 14, it's not for you.
Yeah, I don't get that train of thought, but I really do like this show. Do you like it, Mr. Brown? Still
I thought this week's episode was one of the best episodes in a long time.
Yeah, I liked it a lot. I like I said, I'm just waiting for him to bring back
Serious
Bizarro.
issues.
What?
No, I
Say that
think
again. Say that again.
Serious issues with cancer.
Yeah.
Is it Elizabeth?
Tudyk.
She-
Tudyk.
Oh, maybe it is Tudyk. Yeah, you're right. We'll say that. We'll say
Oh,
that.
that's an unfortunate
It's
name.
Tulloch,
I know.
isn't it? You're getting mixed up with
What's his name? Tudyk.
name out of
Yeah,
Resident
yeah.
Alien?
Yeah, Resident Alien, yeah.
Two Dicks. Alan
Two
Two
Dicks.
Dicks.
Oh yeah, Tudyk. How do you, I don't know how to say their names. They're just whatever. But yeah,
Anyway,
Call him
the-
Steve
the-
the Pirate.
yes.
Anyway, the actress Elizabeth, I think it's Tulloch, who's playing Lois Lane this week's episode. I thought she was fantastic.
Yeah, she is. She's really good. I also like Tyler Hoechlin as Superman / Clark. It's really good.
Fugly Superman.
Oh, you think he's ugly? I don't think so. I think he's a good looking dude. I'd fuck him. I mean, I'm just he's a good looking dude. Although I have to be honest, the kid they got to replace
He's even growing on me now.
You really see? I am
It's
the
the
exact.
eyebrows, you see. The eyebrows.
See, I don't think he's very good. I'm like, he's not impressing me at all. I was willing to give him a shot, but now I'm all like,
Well, he's got the same eyebrows as his brother, so we'll give him a pass.
Oh, right on. Yeah, that's
He was meant to be blonde.
well, yeah, I guess so. I don't know, man. But
In terms of the action, not a lot has happened, has it? So
right.
I've previously said
the money.
I hope they're saving the money for the latter episodes.
Right. Yeah.
With
I agree.
Bizarro. I hope
Yeah.
some serious stuff's going to kick off. But
Is this the last season, by the way?
That's
know
to
yet.
be
We don't know.
seen. It better not be because James Gunn said that he's like, people like it, so we're going to do a couple more seasons. And if he doesn't, I am not going to stop on Twitter with
Well, I've
every day berating
tweeted him saying best thing on
Yeah.
the best thing out of DC for the past 10 years.
Yeah, I guess it's up to Nexstar because they bought the CW, well, kind of bought, but they said that it's really because it's expensive to do this show, and I guess they don't have the rights to the previous 2 seasons. So and the guy that
Could
runs
be going to
Nexstar,
HBO apparently.
yeah, he said it's really hard to keep a show around when you don't have the past episodes to get people, into the show. I can't think
They
of the
should
right
take
word.
it lock, stock, and barrel to HBO, and it will do very well for at least a couple more seasons.
Yeah, to Max. It's now Max.
Max.
So stupid.
So we're agreed. We're still enjoying this, yes?
Yeah. Can't wait to see where they go.
Okay. Everybody check out Superman and Lois. Best thing you're not watching, as we've been saying for the past 2 years. Okay. Shall we move on?
Yes.
Yay!
I thought this was the best thing nobody was watching or something like that.
I'm not so sure now. Barry, everybody.
No. Well, look, it's taken another turn, but it's still compelling as far as I'm concerned. I want to know what's going to happen next because the way this episode ended, I was like, flying. I was going to say F, but I honestly, I am intrigued, very much so. Intrigued, and there were some funny moments in this as well when you've seen this episode, right, Ian?
Yes.
When he fires the rocket at the
Spoilers, everybody, by the way.
that made me laugh so much. And when they got those experts to go in and their heads that came back in the box, I thought that was quite funny as well.
Yeah.
The Kushino bit though got me as well. I didn't know that was going to happen. I thought he was generally an agent. The guy was an agent, but he wasn't. Was he? So it's very intriguing. Yes, it's taking a U-turn. You don't know what's going to happen, but it's not as good as the last season or the first season or the second season, but it's still compelling TV.
Last episode tonight.
I know, and I can't wait. I can't wait to see what happens. I reckon everybody's going to get slaughtered. That's what I reckon. It's leading that way, isn't it?
Here you go. Speaking of slaughtered, Reniel in the chats. Barry, apparently, Barry better die on the last episode.
How comes you're not on, Rennie? What's wrong with you? What you doing?
She's
Not
with
date night again, is it?
visiting parents.
Oh, I see.
Poo internet. Do you think it's jumped the shark, Ian?
No, not really. When something jumps the shark, basically the show is awful. From that point on. But this show is not awful from that point on. This show is intriguing. It's not what we wanted, but it's. I want to know what's going to happen next. I don't know about you. Do you want to know what's going to happen next, Ian?
Well, yeah, because I've stuck with it for 4 seasons.
Yeah. So, but every episode ends in a good cliffhanger. That's what I like about it. So last week ended in a good cliffhanger. This one, freaking good cliffhanger, man.
Do you think the time jump was needed? Because I
No.
think they're basically just back to where they were.
Yeah. I think that was an odd decision to make.
Yes, I don't think that was needed.
But another thing I noticed. Okay, right. So, see if you noticed this, Ian. In the last episode, right, Bill Hayden was slightly overweight, right? When he was saying goodbye to his son, he's got a double chin, and he's got like a bit of a pot belly.
Portly, yes.
Yeah. Then when they came to this episode, he seemed really thin when he was tied to the chair.
Yeah,
I was
like he'd lost
did
his
he lose
double chin,
weight?
yeah.
Yeah, I was like, what? Did they shoot this first and then shot the others later? I was really confused over that. Totally.
Could be I can't speak. Rewrites by the sound of it.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, so interesting.
Anyway, okay. Last episode of Barry this evening. My breakfast entertainment tomorrow when I get out of my pit. So that's Barry, everybody. I would say the best program you're not watching, but I'm not so sure. So shall we move on?
Moving on.
Moving on.
He's not the George you're looking for. Oh my god. Ben can wake up now.
Yeah, as I said, we don't seem to be watching much at the moment. So
No,
we'll
because
just-
there's nothing on. That's why.
Yeah. Okay,
I've
so
tried a few things. I'm still following Silo on Apple TV.
Oh, is that any
Which
good?
I think it started quite well and is now sort of testing my patience a bit.
Yeah, I agree.
Which is a shame because the premise is really interesting and the characters were quite good. And
wasn't
the first
premise?
one mystery is fine, 2 mysteries is okay, 3 is starting to get a bit silly, 4 is probably more than you need, 5 is definitely more than you need, and there's no sign that they're going to fucking stop. So,
Right.
yeah.
I agree.
Looks
There's a
lovely,
really
though.
awful
It is.
series with Arnold Schwarzenegger in it. I saw one episode and I thought that was just rubbish, and so I'm not watching it anymore. Is it called Foombar or Foobar?
Fubar.
Foobar.
Fubar, yeah.
Just,
Yeah, I
just
know.
rubbish. Just rubbish.
I also tried Citadel on Amazon.
That's been
because,
renewed, hasn't it?
I think it has.
Did it?
Is it
Yeah, it's rubbish, that show.
Yeah, it's not it's trying to be sort of Bond, John Wick, and probably 2 or 3 other spy shows without actually knowing what it is itself. So they even do the snow slope ski being chased by gun wielding paratroopers scene. That Richard Madden's is it Richard Madden, the Scottish
It
guy?
is
who
Richard
plays?
Madden,
yeah.
yeah.
His American accent is really something
Shite,
special.
yeah.
It's I don't know which part of America he comes from, that New Scotland or somewhere. But that didn't really catch my
From the
attention either.
north.
Also, you get the feeling that all they were thinking about was action sequences. None of it seems to gel quite
The Russo
Yeah.
brothers.
nicely. What I think is they wanted to make an action film and they thought about all the action sequences and then they connect the story to the action sequences. That's what that's what it feels like to me. It's not like, it doesn't feel organic, if you know.
Here you go, folks. Tim talks. Hello, Tim. Fubar, I thought was decent. I watched the whole thing.
I gave up. Maybe I'll go back to it. You know, you never know. You might be right, Tim.
Right on.
Can anybody think of anything else to watch?
Well, there's this. It's called The Murders of White House Farm. It's on HBO Max.
White House.
Yeah, White House Farms. It's based off a true story. I only watched the first one, but it was so far so good. I'm gonna try to watch the rest of them tonight after I get off this. But so it's based off of a true story. It happened in your guys' neck of the woods. So yeah, it's like this. There's a family and they're in this house out like on White House Farm, and they get murdered, and they think it's the mom. She killed her kids and her parents and then killed herself, but then they're slowly finding out that that's not what happened. So I've tried not to look at the real story because I don't want to know. I want to be surprised, but so far so good. I'm liking it. The acting is superb. So
White House Farm.
yeah, murders of White House Farm.
If it gets remade, will it be Murders on Black House Farm?
I don't know. Yes, it will.
Thinking man's joke there, everybody. Okay, so Lord Chord's news round.
Yeah, where's Freepio?
Yeah, where are you, Z?
Z.
At the Little Platoon. Let's see what we've got then.
I haven't seen it, so I can't comment.
You should see it,
Mermaid.
Megan. You should see it, Ian. I want to know what your thoughts are after you see it.
Little Mermaid, everybody.
Yeah.
For those of you who can't see.
Dark Hour. Dark Hour. I know this is the Lord's section, but would you like to go first?
Yeah, sure. Honestly, it's pretty much like every single one of these remakes. It's like why bother? Like
Why?
it was already done better. It was the my biggest complaint by far is that the pacing of this movie is atrocious.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yes.
the first half hour, nothing happens, and then it hits like a skid of like 20 minutes where everything happens, but they don't explain any of it. There's a legitimate section where I'm pretty certain 2 scripts were like, that's where the two script writers just pasted their scripts together, where it's like, oh, she's not gonna be able to remember, and then she sings a song about all the things she was supposed to forget.
Right.
So like how is that even possible? And they happen within like 5 minutes of each other. So it's a pacing mess. Honestly, the only thing, Haley Bailey, however you pronounce her name, she's
Halle Belly.
Halle Bailey, not Halle Berry.
Not the pretty one.
I mean, she's got a great singing voice. That's like the
Yes.
one compliment I could come up with. There was
Yeah.
legitimate times where I, if I close my eyes, I
She
could
can't.
like.
She can't act though, can
Oh
she?
God, no.
No, she cannot act, but she can sing her ass off. I will
Yeah.
say that.
Hold on. So you said the pacing is bad.
Mhm.
Why didn't they just copy the pacing of the original cartoon?
Because
Don't
because that wasn't long enough. I think that's
Yeah, I think it was
literally
8
just the reason.
I
They
think it's
wanted to
85
throw
minutes,
in
the original.
Yeah, this is 53 minutes longer than the original. They don't actually add anything. There's a travel montage. There's a couple of new songs in there. One of the new songs, the director himself said, we wanted this song so we could have like this visual montage on the screen as she gets to walk for the first time.
Yeah, that
So
was
it's
weird.
literally that they invented a song as an excuse to have a montage, which they put
do-
in for no reason because you don't need there to be a montage there. Just
I do
skip that
enjoy
sequence.
a good montage though. I don't
Even
know.
Rocky had one, so I
Rocky
guess,
4
it's
was all
really-
montages, so
I love a good montage.
Yeah,
moving on.
it's kind of hard to know even where to begin with it. I find these kind of useful, these Disney remakes. Like, same with the Peter Pan one, this one too. Because there is, the animated original against which to compare it, but there's also the fairy tale which gave rise to it as well. You can sort of chart this long... In the case of Peter Pan, it's quite a slow decline to the present day. In the case of The Little Mermaid, it's a much quicker decline to the present day. But the long decline from the literary great to what we get on the screen today. And they're useful for that reason, because you can go through the fairy tale and you can say, well, this is the sort of the theme, the message, the overarching philosophy, the goal. This is how Hans Christian Andersen wrote the character and what he wanted to convey. You can compare it with the 1989 film, which I'm not a huge fan of. I've never particularly liked The Little Mermaid. What? It's a shallow. Well, it was acknowledged at the time to be Disney's first sort of overt girls animated film. It was deliberately designed to target girls, young girls particularly, and as a result, it has
In a bad
all
way
of
or a
the
good way?
yeah, in a bad way, I think.
Oh, okay.
The songs are pretty good, actually. The songs are very catchy. There's a reason that they've stuck in the mind. It gave rise to something like Frozen, which operates on the same sort of idea, but it displays all of the pitfalls of your traditional thoughtless girl story. Ariel is she does have flaws. She is mistaken, but the fundamental difference between boy characters and girl characters, or boy and girl heroes, is that the boy, when the boy hero has to come up against something, the basic premise of any boy's hero story is the world knocks him back because he's not good enough. So he has to gain skills, gain strength, gain knowledge, and beat the world. It's a kind of a domineering expression which lends itself much better to adventures. And the traditional girl story is much more that the girl is right. The world doesn't realize that. All she
Girls
has to
usually
do
are.
is to stand fast and stay strong, and eventually she will get the
You
recognition
talking
she
about
deserves.
the remake, Ben?
This is the 89 film as well.
Oh,
And generally,
like that.
like it is kind of like that. I mean, so the reason she's not a typical girl boss Mary Sue character is that she does make a mistake, and an important mistake, which is that she believes. But this is to prove my point, right? So in the 89 film, she believes that she has to change herself in order to get the guy, in order to effectively win the mission, whatever you want to call it. The moral lesson of that film, though, is that she did not need to do that. She didn't need to change. She was good enough of her own right. All the world needed to do was recognize her brilliance. That is the archetypal girl's hero story.
Really? Is that how you see the cartoon?
Yeah.
Oh no, it was nothing like that, Ben. I'm sorry, I have to completely disagree with you there. She was in love, and she was willing to change everything because she was in love with that guy.
Yes.
Change her form, change who she was, and
And that is
everybody
a
was
mistake.
against it. No, it's not a mistake.
I mean,
why is
literally,
it a
I've watched
mistake?
that film 3 times in the last 3 days. That is literally cast in the film as her mistake.
But it's not though, is it? Because
is.
she
She does a deal with the devil. She does
Yeah,
a
she
deal
knows
with the
what-
devil
There's a
in
deal
order
with
Ding,
to.
ding, round one.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure. But she was that's a mistake. That's a mistake. Yeah. But the thing is though, through that was all about her being in love, wasn't it? You know, you
Yeah.
do stupid things when you're in love, don't you? And you try to get to that
Yes.
point when you're in love. And I think I have to. I have to disagree with you there. I think the Little Mermaid cartoon was fun and it was enjoyable, and the girl was in its place and the man was in its place. They both. I loved it. I loved the cartoon. I thought it was Disney's comeback film, because it had so many flops, and when they did that, everybody warmed to it. The music was good, the cartoon was good. I don't know.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not denying the success, and you're right. And one of the things that's kind of nice about it is that it does clearly give a girl role and a male role, and they're not interchangeable. They are very different characters. My point about that is to identify. I'm not really criticizing the film for that reason. What I'm trying to do is just to explain the basic archetypal girl story, which The Little Mermaid does conform to. The Little Mermaid is told by her father that she's not allowed to go up, she's not allowed to change, she's not allowed to be herself, essentially, because she knows in her heart that she's right. She wants the guy, she's ready to leave, she wants to grow up, and her father is holding her back. To get around her father, she makes the mistake. She tries to do it a little bit too quickly. She goes and makes a deal with the devil, and it costs her greatly. The conclusion of that film is her father saying, you know what, I was wrong. You were right. I should let you go.
No.
I was wrong to hold you back. He said that's what he says in the final scene.
No. But that's the thing, you see. He can see in her eyes, and it's done in the cartoon very well, that she was in love, and there was nothing he could do. All he could do was give her his blessing.
That's my point.
Why
that is exactly what I'm saying.
No, but what I'm saying is that he had no choice. He knew what she did was wrong.
I know. That's also what I'm saying.
Well, we're both saying the same thing. Then.
You guys,
my
have literally been
is,
having the same argument with each other.
But the
my
point
is that the Little Mermaid was right all along. She made a mistake, and her father is the one who has to accept that she has to be let go. Her father recognizes that he was wrong to hold her back, so he lets her go.
She was wrong. She was definitely wrong what she did. But her father realized that even though she was wrong, she was in love. And there's nothing you can do about that.
Because that's the reason she wants to leave home to begin with.
Well, you can look at it at both ends, can't you? You look at it at both ends. They were both on the same level. The father and the daughter, right? The father had to let her go, because that's who she was meant to be.
But that's what I'm saying about her not being a complete sort of generic cliche girl boss character, because she does make a mistake. She does make a mistake, however. Her mistake is trying to force through her father's recognition. But the moral growth in that story is her father's. It's not hers. She is forbearing. What she does is essentially say, I am in love. I am ready to leave. Let me go. He says no.
Yeah.
She says, well, fuck you, then I'm going to see the Sea Witch. And the Sea Witch says, okay, I'll accelerate this for a price. And at the end, they meet in the middle. The Little Mermaid was right. She was in love. She was ready to go, and her father has to recognize that. She makes a mistake, however, in trying to force that through, and that's what makes her slightly more interesting. But it is still the basic archetypal girl story, and that is the basic difference between an archetypal boy story, which is that she actually goes on much less of a moral journey than a boy does, and she's not knocked back by the world in the same that a boy hero typically is. This film just replicates a lot of that, but it's much less charming, and it also misses the most important parts of the story as well.
I think we're getting bogged down.
Yeah,
no, I mean, this is what live streams are for, aren't they? To talk about
getting
like
bogged
this.
down in.
No, come on. I mean, I kind of half agree with you there. But if you look at Splash, for instance, that was the reverse, wasn't it? He had to give up his world for Daryl. What's her name? Was it Daryl Hannah? Daryl Hannah's character, didn't he? And it was the same thing, really. But there's no right and wrong when it comes to love. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You just drop everything when you're in love, and that's what she did. She gave up everything for that guy. And even though you look at it in such a way that it was bad what she did, I think she did it because she was in love, and love is a pure thing. That's the way I see it. You see it differently, I guess.
But love makes you do foolish things sometimes, I think, which is sort of part of the message of the film as well. But this film doesn't have most of those important beats in it, which is the point. Going back to the current film as opposed to the '89 film. This film botches like the most important revelation. So everyone is familiar with the deal that she strikes with Ursula. She has to go. She loses her voice. She has 3 days to make the prince fall in love with her, and that has to be sealed by a kiss before sunset. This film decides, for absolutely no fucking reason, that on top of all of that, Ursula breaks the spell and she says, Natch, the Little Mermaid will forget that she wants to be kissed by the prince. So he now is the one who has to come onto her, and every time she's about to kiss him, or he's about to kiss her, she shies away from it. And all that does is just make the entire thing completely bollocks, basically.
You there?
The genius of the 89 film, and it does have some really good moments, is that when she loses her voice, she is still really set on her goal. And you see how clever she is in the way that she uses body language to try and trick him into loving her. None of that's in this film because she doesn't actually want him to kiss her anymore. So she's just reduced to this bland, unacting mess of a character who just sits on the screen looking vaguely pretty and emotionless for the entire film.
Do you reckon that was put in there deliberately then?
I think kind of, because I don't think in their minds they thought, well, having her fawn after a guy is patriarchal and bad.
Yeah.
But in so doing, they ended up taking away all of her agency and decision-making ability and talent and turned her into a non-character, which is kind of archetypical of modern feminism, or stereotypical, sorry, of modern feminism.
May I interrupt?
Yes.
I would like to as well afterwards.
I think, Matthew, your thoughts on The Little Mermaid, if you've got any left?
The new one it's garbage. And I agree with Dark Hour. The pacing is really, it's so boring. This movie is so boring.
I did make that point, didn't I?
Yeah, it's like it's beyond boring, and I just like I went by myself. I have a daughter who is 7. She had no interest in seeing this movie. I was like, "Hey, you want to go see The Little Mermaid with me?" And she was like, "No, that's okay." And I was like, "Are you sure?" And she's like, "Yeah, I'm fine." And I was like, "All right, I'm gonna leave in 20 minutes. If you change your mind, between that time, let me know and you can come with." And she had no interest in going to see it with me. I was so bored throughout the entire movie. I mean, there were some things that I did like, but I mean, it wasn't enough for me to think that the movie was good. Like, they give Eric a backstory, and it's kind of interesting, but I'm all like, so? And
they
then,
also
like,
give him the most tragically shit song, and he's such a
oh
bad
my gosh,
singer.
yeah,
the auto-tune makes it sound like he's singing with Daft Punk. It's really
yeah.
quite...
Well, I was, the whole time I was like, why is he singing this song on these stairs? Like, the whole time I'm like, why did they do this? And somebody had mentioned in the chat, like, way long time ago, but the part where Aquafina's bird starts squawking a rap song was just utterly ridiculous. She's flying around the room, and I'm all like, what's going on here? It's just so bad that those parts, and the animals the creatures in this movie are just the worst. They're ugly. They don't look like, it's just bad. And then, like, they took out songs. They took out the chef song Le Poisson, and I was like, why didn't you do that? Well, that would have been way fun. I don't know. There's just so much. The mermaid world looks like shit because the palace, it's gross. And I'm like, you're telling me you could have made this more, fantastical and magical like the animated movie had. And it just, the underwater world was a place I don't want to visit. And even Eric's shitty island kingdom, I don't want to visit that either. So I'm just like, it's not good. And I hope it flops at the box office. I really
like how the Island Kingdom is talking about how important it is that their trade routes are undisrupted.
Oh yeah,
right. And you think, well, hang on a minute, sort of vaguely Caribbean island that's shipping things between Europe and Brazil. What was the biggest kind of trade at the time?
Oh no!
Yeah, the Brazilian Empire imported about half of all the slaves ever taken to the New World. So that's what they were doing.
God,
Bad.
They also
Clearly, Coco.
they wreck the setup as well because in this backstory,
My
humans
God.
killed Ariel's mother and they killed Triton's wife.
Right.
Which makes no sense though, because then why the hell is she falling over humans? They literally killed her mum. So why is she so obsessed with and loving of them? And then I'm sure, Meggie, I know you'll agree with me that this point is definitely bullshit. So the end of the 89 film, Little Mermaid is trapped in the vortex as Ursula is sort of doing a trident thing. And brave Prince Eric, who we've shown being a really good sailor, he gets on the floating shipwreck and he pilots it into Ursula and stabs her. They swap it. So in this one, he's trapped in the vortex, and she, who has never been on a ship, flops her way up the deck, grabs hold of the wheel, and masterfully steers it to stab Ursula for her first ever act of captaincy. That was quite impressive.
Yeah, and she's in mermaid form, so I'm all like, "What's going on?" And she's like clawing her way to the thing, and I'm all like, "This is ridiculous." And I'm all like, and I think you tweeted about it, but it was like girl power, and you're just like, I don't, because I haven't seen anybody else's review because I don't want it to taint my thoughts on the review, but what is there a problem with men saving women in today's age?
Yes.
I don't understand because it's not like a bad thing, and she she saved him once. What's it say? So what is the lesson this movie is supposed to teach?
Matt Nizak says, so what is the lesson this movie is supposed to teach today's
They don't
children?
care. Or what they're trying to teach is
Indoctrinate.
basically they're trying to brainwash this next generation that's coming up, and it's bad. Disney's an evil company as far as I'm concerned. They really are, and I don't say that lightly either. They're trying to
Yeah, I
persuade
know.
this generation of this kind of way of thinking, and it's wrong. It's absolutely wrong.
Oh yes.
Yeah. Yeah, and they changed. They like I don't know. The changes that they did to this movie were not for the better, and the stuff they added was like kind of like I said, Eric's backstory is kind of interesting, but at the same time, it wasn't enough for me to care. And then like and like King Triton has like all these daughters that are a very different races, but he only had one
a diverse pantheon of
Yeah,
children.
but one wife, and I'm all like,
What?
how does that work? How does this work,
I,
you guys?
I love that because I was trying to work that out. It's like, well, they're all different races. They're one from all the
Right.
seven seas. He's portrayed as being really, I'm going to use a pun here, salty about the fact that his wife died. Now, how does that work? Does that mean that after she died, he went around shagging mermaids all over the seven seas and then came up with all of these daughters? Or did she have them all with multiple different men and just trick him into thinking that they were his?
Right.
Because those are the only two explanations I can come up with for that.
Well, the explanation is that Disney, with this diversity, wanted to put it in without making any sense whatsoever, and that's
Yeah, they
why
don't
that's
understand
why
how
it's there.
genetics work.
Yeah, that's why it's there. As I said, right, I bear no bones about this. Disney is an evil company.
Fish bones.
They really are evil, as far as I'm
And
concerned.
I love how everybody, like, before I saw this movie, everybody was talking up Melissa
Yeah,
McCarthy's
so-
Poor Unfortunate Soul. Like, they're like, Poor Unfortunate Soul is so good. And the whole time I'm all like, I mean, it's all right, but it's not that great. I'm like, I was expecting to be blown away, but I was like, I mean, it's not that great. I mean, like, her singing is not very good, and like the
You
special
could tell it
effects
was
are
tuned.
yeah, and like so I'm like, I don't know what everybody's talking about. Even like Haley Bailey. When she's not in this movie, I do think she is a good singer. Her and her sister Chloe, but I don't think she did the best in this movie in terms of the songs, because the whole time I was watching it, I was like, I'd much rather watch the animated singing parts, and the acting is not good. I feel like most of the people in this movie are just doing like it's like they watched the animated movie and then they just tried to copy what they saw, and they did a poor job of it.
Smilex in the chat. The sea is always. Speaking of sea, are they swimming through piss and shit?
No, and they're not even swimming at all for the most part.
Oh, okay.
There've been a couple of behind-the-scenes shots. I don't know if they were officially released or if they were leaked, but I saw one earlier today, which is just great. So essentially, she's in a completely blue room, and the floor is blue. And there's about 10,
saw that.
15 blue people, like dressed just all in blue. And she's sitting on one of them as they sort of hop along. And there's this plastic crab on another one. And you think, well,
Yeah.
like, if you're
crabs on the
animating 95% of this film, just go the rest of the way and animate the rest of it. Because there's no point. It just
Right,
looks,
right.
she's riding a blue gimp. What is she doing?
Yeah.
It
And
especially.
Go ahead. No, you go.
I was gonna say it especially like one of the things I noticed immediately. So a lot of people really shit on the trailer because it looked dark and bleak and all that stuff. People are like, why does it look like this? And as soon as I saw the more brightly lit portions of the underwater world, I realized why immediately. Because as soon as you put them in light, it looked terrible.
Right.
Ironically enough, the Ursula part is probably the best CG in the whole movie, and that's because it was dark, so you really couldn't tell the difference between it. As soon as they get out into like the more vibrant areas, it's plain as day that this is like not her body. Her head is like the body's CG, the head isn't. It's really bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
Does she still collect stuff from
Yes.
from above? Oh, good.
Yeah.
At
If
least I got
anything,
that in there.
if anything, she that's like even more of a thing.
Yeah.
Her collection
Um,
is ridiculously large in this.
Ah.
There is a video on the Twitter of the audience watching The Little Mermaid fighting.
Fighting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Why are they fighting?
I don't know. They're fighting over something, and it's hilarious. They're just having like a full-on fight in the audience.
I haven't seen that.
That's just America for you.
Yeah, it's on the Twitter sphere, everybody.
You know,
Yes.
I would say I'm totally against race swapping, and I don't see why she has to be black in this film at all. At all. Obviously, they're just playing the agenda here. So
Yeah.
Um,
It really did. It really did serve no purpose.
Yeah,
Here
it
you go,
did,
folks. Tim, I like saying this, Hannah Bomb. Get in the bin.
the mermaid
Like-
goes in the bin.
Like I almost
Shall-
wish they would have just went full race swap with all of them and just been like, "That this is a Caribbean island now."
I mean, like The
That's-
Wiz.
Yeah.
That would have been better than this.
Yeah, it would have made a lot more sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
would've,
Shall we
would've.
move on? But we're not moving on.
Yeah,
really.
I know for a fact we're not moving on after.
Sorry, folks. We're stinking the place out with fish this week. Sorry. Let's move on.
It's barely even changed the slide.
Seventh
The
highest-
Little Mermaid earns
Wow.
the 7th highest preview gross for a G/PG rated movie in history at the box office with 10.3 million earned on Thursday.
So that's a lot of words for what exactly? Like that means like,
Well, people
What is
seem
it?
to be liking it, do they not? Or
but like when they say preview gross, like does that mean like it's the Thursday like midnight showings? Like I'm not really or whatever.
Yeah, I think that's what it means. I think it means.
maybe
Yeah.
Well, we'll see what happens in the
maybe-
second week, innit? If
Maybe
it,
Disney
Oh.
paid for 10.3 million
I mean,
tickets.
but the thing is, though, who cares? I don't care about this.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's probably and this would actually probably happen even if it was a quality film. You have a lot of stuff coming out in the near future. It's including, I believe, Into the Spider-Verse 2 or whatever is next week, which is their themselves competing against themselves.
Yes.
Here you go, folks. William Pearson in the chat. Children's movie. Why are grown men whining about it?
Well, why'd you tune in?
Don't know.
Why'd you tune in to listen to us whine about it?
I missed that comment. What was it?
Grown men whining about
A
a children's movie. But the thing is,
Okay.
It's what we
more-
do. We like
Yeah,
whining.
yeah,
And we
yeah.
do
It's
We're
also,
all
no,
men
no, I get like tired quickly with that line of thinking. So are you basically are you telling me that what children read and watch doesn't matter? Because if you are, it probably says a lot about you.
Man,
It does
you came
matter.
to fight today, man.
Shots
No, but-
fired.
I'm
We're all-
tired. I've been watching the little fucking mermaid for days on end. But no, but I hear that comment often. It's a kids' movie. Why do you care? It's like all of the best writers, the best filmmakers watched the best stuff when they were young. That's when you learn what good stories are.
Is it
to
a
say it's
kids'
just a kids'
movie,
movie so it doesn't matter is to say, well, it doesn't matter then in the future if everyone turns up and doesn't have any grounding in the classics. That's because everyone like you turned around and said, well, it's just a kids' film, so why are you talking about it? No, have higher standards for children and you will have a better culture as a result of that. It's
Yeah,
not
because
difficult.
it's as Ben says, it's very important. These things are very important. These kids' films are very important. They teach kids stuff, and if you teach them the wrong thing, then they're just going to grow up to be a busted human being. That's what's going to happen. We don't
they are
want
now.
that to happen to the next generation. That's why we're actually doing something. We're actually speaking our mind and saying this should not happen. Little Mermaid should not be black.
Well-
This film should never have been remade. It should never have been remade at all.
Well,
You know,
we're
and
doing
what
it
they
for the
teaching
younger
our young.
people.
They're teaching us that boys are completely useless now.
Well,
as
I'd like
men
to think
even. That's what
we
they
are
teach.
doing this for the benefit of the younger people. but
Exactly.
they're
We were trying.
They're too young to realise that older people know better, and we're doing it for them. But everybody's young once. I was the same. I was a complete tosser when I was younger.
I was like a grumpy old man when I was like 12. So
In the chat, Mr. Brown Alliance, that's me. The Lord has spoken.
But I
The Lord
agree.
has
This is one thing I agree with.
been a while, folks.
Ben is I agree with him. As I said, it's important that kids grow up with a good grounding, and Disney's not doing that. Disney's trying to put their poison into their minds, and so it sounds incredible and trivial, but it isn't. Believe you me, it isn't. It isn't trivial what we're talking about here.
I've been
But-
told to clip this rant, apparently.
Or you can look. You know what? This is why we have streams like this, to talk about things like this. So
There
Yeah.
was actually a comment in like way back in the chat that was fantastic. It was like Little Platoon is 40 years too old to have watched this movie, and I'm like, he's not even
40
40.
years.
I'm not
I don't
even
think so.
40. I've got like a decade or more to go before I
You,
hit
you
40.
just lived that much life. That's what it is.
Yeah. Plus, I don't think that there's I don't think that just because I don't think it's just made for kids, because I think like every time people say like cartoons are for kids, but I'm like, I don't know. There's some really like adult themed,
Yeah.
and not in a weird way, but like adult themed cartoons that I think that, you know, everybody thinks like cartoons are made for kids, so they automatically just assume, well, this
It's a
is based
poor
off a
argument.
cartoon. It's only meant for kids. And I go, no, it's not. Not at all. I think that entertainment is made for everybody. Just some of it is a little, you know, darker for
not
a
everybody.
younger audience. So
Well, it's a poor argument to say that cartoons are for kids, or there's like, because like anything that is made for kids generally is also should be made to be consumed for adults as well, because they're
Yes.
going to be effectively the ones that take their kids to see it if it's in theaters, or are the ones that are going to subscribe to a service to watch it with them.
absolutely.
So whether it's geared towards kids or not, it should still at minimum be able to retain an adult's like attention, and they shouldn't have to suspend their disbelief to a point of completely like breaking it.
Well,
Right.
adults should be the people who determine if something is suitable for them.
That
And
too.
it used to be. I mean, a lot of these old fairy tales were obviously, you know, children can watch flashy stuff on screen at any age. But when they were written as fairy tales, you know, it takes children a while to learn to read. Back in the day that was written, not everyone did learn to read. And so they were designed to be read to children by parents. And so it has to be appealing to the
John
parents
Z.
in order for the parents to think it important enough to translate it to their children. The Little Mermaid, the fairy tale, the prince never, I don't think he ever sees Ariel, ever. There's no happy ending in the conventional sense.
Right.
She never gets the boy. Walking on land is like walking on glass. It's
No happy
painful to her.
finish.
And she dies. She sacrifices herself. She commits suicide rather than see him die in response. As a result of which, though, she gets something that most mermaids conventionally are understood never to have, which is an eternal soul, and so happiness in the sort of the ever after, because her self-sacrifice proves more about her character, that she's prepared to give up on the love that defined her hitherto. It's a really deep, well, quite deep anyway, meaningful tale, and it's not something you'd conventionally think children would understand. Many children probably wouldn't have done, but their parents who read it to them did, and that's why they read it to their children to begin with.
I'm assuming that then on this remake, he dies and she survives.
Oh no, sadly
No,
neither
no,
of
no.
them die.
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
based on a Disney rewritten cartoon, isn't it? So obviously, but they changed things around because basically they don't want men to be heroic anymore. They want them to cower in the corner while the woman takes over, and that's what they've done with this. Same thing with Indiana Jones that's coming up. So brace yourselves, guys. Brace
Yeah, and
yourselves.
I don't understand why they don't want they didn't want Eric to be the hero at the end, because it would have been a nice balance, because she saves him from drowning at the beginning, and then he saves her from
Yeah.
you know whatever happens.
Yeah.
She doesn't drown, but and I just think it would have been a nice balance and it would have been equal, but no,
Yeah.
it can't be that way anymore.
No,
Here you go,
not anymore.
folks. Round 2. William Pearson. Hello, William. Guys, it's a kids' movie, not our issue.
It is our issue.
William,
Based on that picture,
William, you're
Well,
stirring
he's
up trouble.
entitled to his he's entitled to his opinions, right? So
Yeah, for
God
sure.
bless him.
He's
God
just
bless
having fun. Just no
Yeah.
picture. This is somebody having fun. It's fine.
Yeah.
him. Ugh.
Shall we move on?
I
Yeah.
think
We're
we're
not
going to
gonna-
move a little
well,
bit to the
shall we
left.
just
are
kind
we?
of step to the left a little bit? We're going
Yeah,
to
a
step
little
to
bit
the
to the
left, everybody. I'm trying not to get bogged down.
It's too late.
Oh.
Oh, God.
Okay, so Sunday now. So The Little Mermaid is projected to make 186 million in the films.
I think it came in slightly under. The last figure I saw was 163.8 because it
Oh,
opened
okay.
lower than expected
Right.
overseas, but it did quite well in America.
Yeah, China is not.
What year is Little Mermaid set in? What year?
Oh
Is it-
God,
Can anybody tell me?
it's the 1800s, I think.
In
this
the
version.
1800s,
Yeah, I don't.
that's,
I think in this version it'll be 18, 17 or 1800s. I would
was
guess.
there
That's
black
definitely
people
1800s.
present in that area of? Did anyone mention her race or her color or in this film?
No, they don't. They
No.
never
Oh
mention it at all.
no!
I see. Okay.
They don't even. I mean, it's not even mentioned. Like literally, her and her like 11 sisters are there. There's like 3 Asians. Like there's
Easy.
like. Well, no, I'm not saying it derogatorily. There's like 3 Asians.
You're not.
There's like 6 of them are white, but like 2 of them are blonde. It's like the genetics make no sense for the
Yeah, it makes no
whole
sense.
process.
The queen of
MC.
the island nation that Prince Eric's backstory is weird. So there's the queen of the island nation is black. The prime minister, who is Grimsby from the original, he's a prime minister now for no good reason at
No
all.
reason.
I think the actor is Pakistani anyway.
Yes.
They
Yes.
adopted Eric because his birth parents died at sea.
Yes.
I think that's how it goes. But so he's obviously white and American. It's just it's just a smorgasbord of color.
Yeah, and did any of you think it
honkies?
was not that I could remember. Like white people, there's white people in there, but
okay.
no garbage white people from what I could
Here you go,
remember.
MC.
No
Mr. Brown
garbage white
Alliance
people.
is sponsored by The Little Mermaid and Disney Plus.
He would take it. He
Well,
would take
if,
it.
yeah, we'll accept
well,
it.
yes, if they
Yeah.
was sending me some money my way, I'd take it, but they're not
Did
going to,
you,
so it's not an issue.
Did any of you find it weird when the queen started talking about the sea creatures and like they were real and everything? And I'm all like, oh, do you believe in like sea creatures? Like, I mean, she was talking about it to Grimsby at one point in time, and I was like, does she believe that mermaids exist? Because I'm
Yeah, she
I'm all
does.
like, what? Because like I know she thinks they killed her husband or whatever, and they're trying to what did she say? I only saw it once, so I can't remember. She said something like they're trying to drown us or something like that in the sea, and I'm all like, did she? And I just want to be like, I think she's crazy because she thinks mermaids are real. I'm like, and they're obviously not real, although they are real in this movie. But I'm all like, in a real world, I would be like, I think the queen's mental. Like she believes in mermaids.
Is maid MAID? Is that a problematic word nowadays?
Probably.
Well,
I don't
they
think
do
maid
divide
is.
it between mermen and mermaids, so it is a sex binary going on there.
Probably.
At one point, they do say mer people, I believe.
Yeah, can we have mer
Yeah.
person?
Mergers.
Well, it's definitely like a distinction between the two.
Lord, are you available to read a super chat, please?
I suppose
the
I can.
Mighty Melvin Deeply, please.
From Melvin Deebly for £10. Too many jumping on the bandwagon for clicks with this shit. I get that it's important to teach kids better lessons, but most streamers are faking outrage for clicks, and that's getting fucking old fast. No, I agree with that. Like, if your entire take about Little Mermaid is, lol, Disney suck, Black Mermaid, this is terrible, then I'm not going to watch your video, but I recommend the same course of action to you, Melvin. If you don't like the person doing the video in that style, don't watch them. It's not difficult to avoid these people. You know who they are. Certain
There you
people
go,
do the same
folks.
kinds of content. Don't watch those people.
Again, I'd just like to say, right, all these things are happening because of what they are doing to our movies. Right, so don't bloody blame us. Blame them. They've created this.
They thems.
Well, wherever. They've created this. They're responsible for creating Little Platoon, Blue Boy, the Drinker. Everyone that you see, they're responsible for that. And if they want to make money out of it, who can blame them? Do you know what
Right
I mean?
on. Yeah.
You know? So there you
It is
go.
definitely a tightrope walk sometimes with that
It
stuff.
is,
though,
yeah,
to
sure.
not-
You
to
have a
not-
choice. Do you prefer to give £10 to Disney, or do you prefer to give £10 to me?
I would give you I'll give you $10 because
Disney it is then,
I use
folks.
real money.
I'm just saying that they're
Cheers, Melvin.
responsible for what's happening now. So see, people that do this stuff, they really shouldn't be blamed. Really, the good ones are fighting the battle to try and take this crap out of the stuff that we love. We're fighting. Well, I am.
The
but
good
the
ones,
yeah.
if
But
I
there are a
may.
lot. But with everything, there's always going to be a lot of people that hang on or take advantage of the situation with anything, right? So why are you surprised? Maybe
The
you
good
isn't
ones
surprised.
will also tell you when something is good. Not just say it's shit, but also will say it's good when it is
That's usually
good.
my distinction.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
a person in their review at least points out the things that they do enjoy or the things that did work or the things they were
Yes.
wrong about, it's possible to do a negative review with some positives and vice versa, do a positive review with negatives.
Yeah.
Those people tend to like better because the honesty goes a long way with me.
Right. I agree.
Totally.
Okay.
Totally.
Yeah, nerd.
Question: Atom Gray, what can a tenor get for at Mr. Brown Lines? It will pay for the electric
And the
for the
milk.
stream.
How much
And the
is
internet
how much is a
for
tenor
this-
in American dollars?
10.
Yeah.
10.
Oh, is it?
It's
Okay.
not
Yeah,
that the two currencies are not that far apart anymore.
Okay.
They're not. They're not. At
Right
all.
on.
They keep kind of
Okay.
flopping back. If there was like for a short period of time, the dollar was actually higher. I think it's back to the pound being above.
Oh, okay. Right on.
Okay, shall we move on?
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see what week number 2 is for that, won't it?
Can I
So-
ask one real quick question before we
Go.
move on about the Little Mermaid? Do you guys think this will make $1 billion?
No.
No.
No, not even. I don't think it's gonna.
Next week is the deciding factor.
Put
I
it,
think
put
it.
it this way. I hope not.
It would need,
It'll
it would
probably-
need Chinese support for that. A lot of Chinese support.
I think it'll make 500.
Yeah, I don't think so. Before the movie came out, I thought it would, but then I saw it and I was like, oh, there's no way this is gonna. And
It'll
especially,
probably make 5.
yeah, especially since Spider-Verse is coming out next weekend, and me and my whole family are going to see that, and I'm the only one that saw this weekend, so I don't think that it's gonna beat Spider-Verse.
Sorry, chat moved up. Here you go. Smilex. Sorry, chat moved up. More fish stories, please. Smilex.
Disney's also doing themselves a disservice with their streaming service, ironically, because now people just kind of know that if they wait 2-3 months, they'll be able to see it for free. Oh, well,
Right,
free, but
yeah.
they're already paying for it, so it does hurt.
Yeah.
There has been a steady decline in their even post COVID. There's been a steady decline in their gross amounts for film.
Dark Hour. Which country did you go to see this movie?
I think
Was it India or Vietnam?
No, I believe it was a Spanish-speaking country. Yeah, so I'll just pick
Okay.
one at random, and I'll just say
Okay.
Venezuela.
Okay. Shall we move on?
Famous
Yeah.
for their cinemas in Venezuela.
Oh,
Right,
God,
we're
not
quick.
moving.
We're getting bogged down now, so we'll quickly blast through these. So, Little Mermaid debuts with A on Cinema Score. I don't know what that means, but I thought I'd put it up there.
What does it mean?
Well, there is an A in
Well-
Cinema Score, so
Well, I do, because doesn't Cinema Score, don't they go to the movie theater and as people are walking out, they say, hey, what do you rate this movie?
Oh, okay.
And so I think that, if you're somebody that like when I was going to see this movie, I wasn't expecting to be inspiring or anything like that. But when I was walking out, I was like, I can get how somebody that was excited for this movie, if you stop them and say, hey, what'd you think? They'd be like,
Right.
oh, it's the best movie of the year kind of thing. I totally get that. So if you go and there's a buttload of people there with their kids, they're probably going to give it an A and everything. So
They are also skewing these things already. So one of the
Yeah.
reasons given for its relative underperformance overseas is, you know what I'm going to say, review bombing. So
yeah.
that's already been blamed specifically in certain countries, everywhere from France to Korea. Apparently, people who don't like the film are review bombing it. And IMDb has already put out a warning saying that our rating mechanism has detected unusual voting activity on this title. To preserve the reliability of our rating system, yeah, okay, an alternate weighting system calculation has been applied.
Yeah.
So they are reweighting it away from negative reviews. I think I read somewhere as well that there were about 5,000 5-star reviews posted before the film even premiered.
What?
So yeah. It's only review bombing though if people don't like something. If people all go and say it's brilliant, that's not review bombing. That's pure honest reviews that have definitely not been paid for.
Here you go, folks. In the chat, A is for ass.
I agree.
agreed. Also, if you go to Rotten Tomatoes, it stands. The last time I saw it, it was at 67% with the critics and then 95% with the audience. But then with the audience, it was only for verified audience members. But then when you switch it over to all the audience, I think it went to 46%. Don't quote me on that because I can't remember.
Question for you, Matt. Is it Rotten Tomatoes or Rotten Tomatoes?
Well, I mean, for me, it's tomatoes, but
Well, for me, it's tomatoes. Let's call the whole thing off. Okay.
Okay.
What
I
is
saw
a
that coming from about a
verified?
mile away.
What is a verified audience member? Do they have to scan their ticket to make a review?
No, I think that's where you go and you like create an account for it. But I don't really. I'm not on Rotten Tomatoes at all, so I'm not verified or ever done a review. But I honestly go ahead.
I was gonna say, like, like, how do you verify that you were an audience member? Like,
Do they stand outside?
Take your word for it.
Do they stand
Exactly.
outside the cinema and then wait till people come out and then ask?
Cinema Score does, I believe.
Yeah,
right.
Cinema
they do,
Score
like,
does.
exit
Yeah.
polling.
In the chat, Princess Fiona, let's not get bogged down in the pronunciation of. Is it vegetables or fruit?
Vegetables.
Actually, yeah. So technically, we don't have to listen to her because
Tomatoes is a fruit, isn't it?
Oh no, Princess Fiona is right. We shouldn't.
However, potatoes and potatoes are.
Nobody says potatoes.
Yeah, nobody says potatoes. That's weird.
It's
Yeah.
part of the
Potatoes.
song.
That's like
Let
say.
the
That's like
thing
when you say
off.
sabotage instead of sabotage.
Nobody has ever pronounced it that way.
Sabotage.
Sabotage.
Yeah. What's his face? Captain Kirk did.
Did he?
Yes.
Yeah, he
very
was
good.
doing like a
Sabotage.
voiceover thing. I'll have to send you the
But
clip.
anyway,
Yeah.
so Cinema Score does like exit polling style, and but
I think
that's
so.
even if you do in the first week, that's also gonna be skewed for the most part.
Okay. Here you go. R2, potato is a tuber, yes. Andy Mouse, it's a berry.
Tomato is.
Just on the point, because I think Dark Eye, you mentioned earlier that it would require a lot of Chinese support to go above 1 billion.
Yes.
I was just taking a quick look. I think as it stands, it's grossed $2.5 million in China, and the predicted overall estimate will be just $4 million.
Yeah, so there's no way it'll get close to
No.
$1 billion.
I think
with
there's
those
a
I'm
story
pretty sure the
coming up
Chinese
with it.
spend more. I'm sure they use like mermaid tail in their bullshit folk remedies, and you could probably go in more money for doing that.
Here you
I'm
go.
quite
Sorry,
surprised
chat
they've
moved up.
allowed this film in there. Quite surprised.
Sorry, Tim. Here you go. Franco, tomato is a fruit. Yeah, I thought it was a fruit.
Of course
It
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 is.
is. Yeah.
It is.
Very good for you.
Just don't.
Yeah. I love tomatoes.
Yeah, I mean,
Tomatoes.
I love tomatoes
Shall we
too.
move on?
Yes, let's move on. Let's move on.
not really.
Oh,
Okay, so speaking of tomatoes, at the time of screen grab, 70% on the tomato meter,
tomato
90
meter.
93 on the audience.
Yeah, but again, if you click the because you
It
can
literally
switch
says
it.
verified ratings right there.
Yeah, and you can switch it to like all of the thing. And the last time I looked at it, which was like I think it was yesterday, when you switch to all reviews, I think it's 46% from what I remember. And then it's the same thing with the critics review. When you switch it to there, I think when it goes from when you click it over to top critics, it goes to 67%, I think. Don't quote
Yeah,
me on that. I'm trying
on
to.
it as you speak. Verified audience is 95%. All audience is 55%.
Okay, so it must have changed the last
All
time.
critics is
Well, it's gonna be
67%.
changing.
Top critics is just 47%. So actually,
Yeah.
even the top critics hate this thing more than the all audience do.
Yeah, it's going to be changing a lot for the next few days.
Yeah, and for me, I just go, you guys, like, Rotten Tomatoes has already gotten enough, crap about their rating
Tomatoes.
system. Tomatoes, sorry. They need to stop with this nonsense and just do everybody on one bit. And if it fails, then that means the movie just fails. And nobody takes Rotten Tomatoes seriously. Me and you, we're gonna have to have a chat. But nobody takes this site seriously, anyways, as legit anymore. So
We used to back in the day, didn't we?
Yeah,
if,
yeah.
If I were to know about something on dial-up internet, I would look at Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, but ever since Captain Marvel, when they started, because it was review bombed,
It wasn't review bombed. A lot of people thought it was shit.
It wasn't, but I'm putting it in quotes.
Slight technicality there.
Yes, so.
But you know what, right? The normies, right, will go and see this. I know a lot of people that went to see this and thought it was good. They'll go and see this, but obviously they don't see deep enough. Again, the question is, why is Ariel black?
Well,
why
they
have they
will.
put all this stuff in there? Yeah, hopefully, if
They will.
more
They're just
people
not
like
ready
us
yet. They're just not ready.
call it out, and hopefully the message will get to them, and they'll realize that they're watching something that shouldn't really be made. in my
Right.
opinion.
Yeah.
I mean, there's really no reason to remake successful
Well,
films to begin with.
No, there isn't.
It's not
Yeah.
it's not made in the right spirit.
And also, they don't have enough imagination or intelligence to make something new. They don't. They don't. That's why they keep remaking
Well,
this
you don't
crap.
know.
I do
Yeah.
know.
Oh,
Look at
okay.
the evidence.
Yeah, plus I go, why are we
Look at
remaking why are we remaking good movies? Why don't you go and get the crappy
Yeah.
movies and
Why don't we
remake
just
yeah,
write
those?
some
yeah.
new? Why instead of remaking stuff? Why
New
don't we
stuff.
do some new
Because that requires
stuff?
effort.
Exactly.
That's true.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, is that what it is? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and being of a person of the generation that most of this writing is coming from, effort wasn't our best thing.
On that bombshell.
I mean, we were the generation of 14th place medals and stuff.
That's so true. Ugh.
Here we go. Punchable face. I'm not going to read it, but
I'm
not gonna say it, but there you go.
I like his smile. Look at his avatar.
In the
Tomatoes.
chat, big supporter of the channel, Garth Knight. Please send my regards to Michael. Rennie's married?
Yeah, I
What?
think so.
No, I'm
think
still
so.
shocked too. I can't believe it.
Oh, can I ask a question about Little Mermaid? So,
You're
what
going
about
to.
the crab thing? Is that still have the same accent? You know, the Caribbean accent?
Yes,
Yes.
but it's just poorly done.
Yeah, it's bad.
I mean, it wasn't particularly well done in the original film either. But this one is like I could foresee several people being like offended by this.
Triggered, yeah.
I think the guy who did it is it. I want to say it's Davy Diggs is his name. I think he is from around that region. So unlike the guy who did the original voice, so I thought the original voice just had way more character in it.
Yeah,
I
But it's
agree.
it's helped because the original animated style can give way more sort of physical and facial expressions to these creatures that just don't exist in
Yeah,
this film.
exactly,
They
yeah.
did slightly enlarge Sebastian's eyes in this film, so he has a bit more like emotional range in his face. But Flounder is just a fish,
Yeah.
and fish don't generally kind of emote with their faces.
Oh
He
yeah,
just
when
stares
he's
at the camera.
yeah when you're looking at him like straight on, it's so weird. Like I was just like I'm so like with his little eyes just like going off like this. I was the whole time I'm just like, is anybody else as freaked out as I am from Flounder? Because he was just like,
They really
it's so
removed
weird.
Flounder from this
Should a
movie.
fish actor play a fish?
Well, that's another question. But
Yes.
it's tricky because like the way I
Or a
edit
crab.
stuff, I will scroll through a film looking for like reaction or emotion shots so I can use those and cut them into a video. If I were doing that with Little Mermaid and doing it with Flounder, it would just be the same fish every single
Right.
time on the screen, just staring blankly at
Why
the screen.
why didn't they design the fish like the cartoon, but kind of make it more acceptable? Like, for instance, when they brought back the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, what's his name? Michael Bay brought it back. They tried to make it realistic, and they were all ugly. They looked ugly. And then when you look at the the Muppets, the Muppets did the teenage, they look cute, and it worked. So why didn't they design these characters like the
Don't know.
cartoon? You know, so
don't
that had
know.
some kind of facial
Well,
expressions.
there you
and
go.
they
R2 should have gone full on and made Founder.
yeah, I don't understand. Same thing with what was that
Don't
one?
know.
Lion King. Right,
Yeah.
with every character in Lion King, it was just like they could talk, yeah, but there was no expression on their
No
face.
expression.
It's because
whatsoever.
actual animals, like, because they try to make them as realistic as possible.
Yeah.
and actual animals don't have control of their
Well, they
facial
don't
muscles
talk
like
either,
that.
but anyway.
Well, yeah, they don't
Yeah.
talk, but they don't really have like
Not English,
human-
anyway.
Yeah, they
That's
don't
the
have
thing, 'cause,
modes.
like, that was the reason a lot of the old Disney animated films were made animated. You could have made a lot of these films as live action, and they made a conscious decision not to do that.
Yeah, yeah.
In some cases, Walt Disney himself would say, "No, this should be animated," and that's
Yeah.
one of the reasons. If you're featuring animals heavily in what you're doing, and you want it to be fantastical and enjoyable, then animation is way better than photorealism because photorealistic animals are animals, and animals are not facially expressive.
Yeah, they
I'm
usually
sure-
have those two expressions.
I'm sure they could have designed Flounder half cartoon, half real, and make
Yeah.
it acceptable. Do you know what I mean? I'm sure they could have done that, but they didn't.
Yeah, there's some fan art that somebody had done online, and it looks like Flounder from the animated movie, but it's like realistic, and it looks 10 times better. And I'm like, they should have just done this. I mean, but what do I know? They don't listen to us anyways, so
That's true.
And on that bombshell, shall we move on?
Are
Yes,
we going to
please.
move on?
It's
Yes,
going to be
we
a
are.
very long stream,
No,
folks.
it's not. We're not moving
It's
on.
bank holiday, by the way.
Ah,
Man.
come on.
Bank
This-
holiday for you. I actually have to work. Oh God.
Well, China, listen, China does not like black people. Like, that's just the end of it. So this
True.
movie's not going to do good there. And they, and it's Disney's. I think they even made one of the posters. They made Ariel more blue, so they could, and that was the Chinese poster. And I'm all like, I don't know why we're catering to this country. They don't like
Money.
a
Cha-ching.
portion of our population. I don't know why we're trying to be nice to them.
Money.
And I know it's money, but it's like everybody wants to scream about the Uyghur Muslims in the work camps, but yet you don't want to do anything about it. You just want to give them more of our products and our money. And I go and get their money. I just go, why are we? I don't understand why we're catering to these people. They just
Well, if Disney thinks it's important to cater to them because of money, why is Ariel black?
Well, the article here says the Little Mermaid's Chinese state-run media warns Disney to stop pushing the narrative around fairy tales, or they will lose their magic glory, whatever magic glory is.
yeah.
It is
just-
it is strange because like Disney is like this company kind of caught between two, like it's like a rock and a hard place. It's like they have a lot of people on the one side who are like basically trying to push, like you said, narratives and stuff, and then but a huge chunk of their money does come from locations that don't give a shit about any of that,
Right.
and in some cases, like with China, actively push back against it. So you have this weird situation where, and it's definitely the reason why Disney's struggling with a lot of things.
Here you go, folks. Week 13. I'll start again. 2 mermaids, 1 cup.
Yeah.
Ew.
They can't have it both ways, can they, Disney? You know, they're pushing out this false diversity thing, and yet they want to make money in China. It's ridiculous. They're so stupid. You know, anyway, whatever.
Here you go, folks. Princess Fiona for $2. I like to imagine Cleo Mermaid's wag smells like me.
Yeah, you don't want to be saying that. Wash your mouth out, Fiona. What is wrong with you?
Carbolic soap. How dare you.
But yeah, at some point, like one or the other has to give, and I think we're going to see it in the very near future. Either they're going to finally crack monetarily, and we're going to end up with a situation where like they're just going to be like, no, we're just done trying to do this. We need to make money, or the company's going to go under from ideology. Is one of the, and they're going to have to start selling off IPs. It's one of the other. It's eventually going to happen.
I saw Johnny Depp.
I think
I
it's the
can't
latter.
remember what stream I was looking at, but Johnny Depp said about what the whole situation about Hollywood, and he said, you know, I disagree with everything that they're doing. I'll be on the other side. I'll see you on the other side, he said. So, you know, it's obvious there's all this crap is happening in Hollywood, but nobody wants to talk up about it. Johnny Depp seems to be the only one that's talking up about it, to tell you the truth. But, oh, God, I wish it would stop. That's all I can say.
Here you go, folks. Take my Wi-Fi, please. That Mr. Brown, that's me. What's carbolic soap?
Carbolic
Carbolic.
soap.
Carbolic.
Carbolic soap.
There you go.
No, it's not pronounced that way though, is it?
Carbolic.
No, it's not.
Well, have you ever seen those cars that have like the balls hanging off the back? That's car. You use that.
Carbolic
Is
soap.
it a soap that's oil-based? It has a really
I
distinctive smell.
yeah,
like,
I can't remember what it's called because
like
my mum
Vosine.
used to- yeah,
I'm sure that's an American exclusive thing, by the
Yeah.
way. The three of the
Okay.
people on the panel probably have no idea what the hell I was just talking about.
I know what you're talking about.
Okay, shall we move on then? Obviously,
on.
China not liking it.
Nope, they're not.
Yeah.
Truck nuts, some of our two just said.
Okay, let's move on.
God, we haven't
I think
moved
this
on.
One day
Can we
we
get
will
off
move
Little
on.
Mermaid, please?
One day we will actually move on.
Here you go, the Little Mermaid book written by, I can't see it, but no mention of actually it was written by originally,
Can we move on, please? This is
Yeah.
just rubbish. Come on.
which seems to be the Disney way of writing.
They do.
things,
They
isn't it?
put a quote of his on screen at the beginning of this film, but that's the only
Yeah.
resemblance it bears to the original fairy tale, really.
Yeah.
Move along.
Okay, that took then 1 hour 20. That took about 1 hour longer than I thought it was going to take.
Well, I mean, we did have the brown out at the beginning, which did delay things. So
Well, even the brownout wasn't that long. Okay, shall we move on? I think the
Yes.
chat,
Please, let's move on.
the chat are getting restless.
So are we.
Ooh.
Okay, I like Japanese posters, and I saw this.
That's
It's
nice.
a good poster.
Yeah, it's nice.
the Japanese have mastered advertising
Look
for
at
movies.
that.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, but it's very much a poster for their country because in England and America that wouldn't go down.
Which I
very-
don't understand why. This is a really good
No, well,
poster.
it's I can see why it's yeah, I can see why it's not the kind of poster design that we are used to. Put it that way. This is very much anime kind of poster, isn't it? The way
I
it's
mean, yeah,
Here you
that's
go,
a good
folks.
point.
In the chat, big supporter of the channel, Garth Knights, $5. Just got here, Brownie, but I'm hearing good things about the Flash.
the Flash.
The
Yeah.
Flish Flash.
Cleans
Good crew
the floor
here.
really good.
Good
carry on.
crew here. I'll catch the first hour on the rewind. I think
I
probably avoid the
almost
first
want to
hour.
You might
warn
want-
what he's in for.
You might want to, yeah, you might want to
just
skip that.
Just skip straight to this.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I just want to say I'm looking forward to this movie. I'm quite
Same here.
excited about it. I know Ezra Miller's a kook and everything, but I'm still excited for this movie.
Not necessarily.
Yeah, I don't care how many Icelandic princesses he threw to the ground or how many babies he let suck on bullets. I am going to be there opening day, first showing. I'm taking my son is excited. He loves The Flash, so he's excited for it. I'm looking forward to this movie.
Here you go. Rani L in the chat is doing her damnedest to upset me. Anyone here about the cameo? She's doing her best to upset me.
I heard
It's
they
not
might
a
have one.
spoiler. The director was going around
He
telling
was.
everyone that this person who you don't want to hear the name of is in
I
the film.
wasn't listening to him.
I get it. People that like me personally, I love spoilers. So you could tell me this whole movie up and down, and I would still go and love it.
Well, Ian's
Well,
the
if
man.
it's good.
Not
but,
saying anything.
I'm gonna talk to you after this.
No, I'm not saying
and
anything.
then-
I'm not
but,
saying anything.
but I understand people that don't like spoilers and don't want to be spoiled. So the director from going around saying that stuff was kind of nonsense. He shouldn't have said any of that stuff.
I am
Try
looking
to
forward
have
though,
some.
to the cameo guy saying something I don't know, not the bees, not the bees.
Yeah.
Ian, do you know somebody who's seen The Flash?
No. I don't know anyone that's seen the Flash.
It's him, everybody. It's him.
Ian, thou art being
Ian's
honest
seen
with
The Flash,
thyself.
everybody. I hate
I'm
him.
not going to say anything about it because
I mean, he technically didn't lie. He doesn't know anybody else who's seen the Flash. He just saw it himself.
no, there was a special screening that was happening.
You
That's
did?
how
Did
I
you
was there.
enjoy the movie?
I did actually.
Yeah.
Okay,
and-
I'm going to ask a
and-
question then.
Yeah, do it.
No, Matt, you go first and I'll ask.
Oh, I was just gonna say, did were the cameos pleasing that were in the movie
Easy.
without anything? And spoilers.
Yes. They
Okay.
were.
See, yeah. See, I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait.
Well, my question was, is it worth people's money to go watch this?
I guess.
There you go, folks.
Yes,
That's
it is.
what I've been
And you know
saying
what,
for
right?
months.
I think a lot
Go
of
see it
people-
at the cinema.
Yeah, a lot of people will when they review it, they'll probably highlight the negatives more so than the positives. And there's a lot of positive things in this movie. A lot of things to really like. And I can say right off the bat, which I'm not spoiling anything.
There you go.
The best thing about this film is Michael Keaton. That's
There you
all
go.
I'm saying.
Right on.
Smilex says it'll be shite. Is that correct,
It's
Ian?
no, it's not. It's enjoyable.
What
It's
a-
very enjoyable.
What about repeat viewing? Do you think that you would like for instance? Are you gonna go see it again since you've already
No.
seen it? No.
I did. Yeah, I did enjoy it. I probably my nieces probably dragged me to go and see this. But if it was left down to me, I liked Guardians of the Galaxy 3, and there was no way I was going to see that again. But again, I was dragged by my nieces to go and see it. So.
And then, do you think from seeing this, do you think it'll make $1 billion?
I don't. I seriously don't know. It is good.
Well,
it is a good film. That's all I
if-
can say.
If the 115 people who are watching this at this moment go to see this film,
Yeah.
it may stand a chance.
Yeah, if they go to see it,
I
100 times.
genuinely think we all should just. Ezra Miller is a twat, but let's separate the actor from what we're seeing, from the person.
That's going to be
I-
really hard. There's two Ezra
I
Millers.
know, but we've been
Also-
banging on about this for months. Let's go see it just for Keaton.
Also, I remember seeing the picture of Supergirl, right? The very first picture, and I thought, God, it looks like a boy. But in this film, she was quite hot. Actually, I thought she was quite hot. I was like, okay.
I thought, okay.
I was thinking, okay.
Yes,
I'd-
okay. Yes.
out of 10, I'd give her 1. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah.
Like I said to you guys in the green room backstage, whatever you want to call it, I'm gonna be on a work trip in Vegas that week that it comes out, and instead of doing any Vegas stuff, I was like, "What's the biggest IMAX screen I can go see this on?" I'm gonna go see it. So on the
Right
day,
on.
Theo, Titan, I'm going for Keaton. Same here, and Batfleck's last appearance, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll tell you one thing.
I'm surprised they
Batman's-
didn't have to deep fake him into this.
Batman's costume is freaking awesome. If out of all the costumes, I think
Ben
Keaton's-
Affleck's Batman or Michael Keaton's Batman?
No, Michael Keaton's costume, right? So the first Batman film, I thought he looked really deadly. That costume was really well designed, even though he couldn't move his head left to right. This one, I think, is a great improvement from the second film to the first film. I thought this
There you
costume
go.
looked really
See,
good.
He's in it for Batman. Yeah,
Yeah,
as I
everybody
said-
is.
Yeah, as I said last week, folks, if we all go see it, at the very least, we can come back here the week after and nobody will be left out. We all can talk about it.
Can
if
I ask
anything.
one more question?
Yeah, go.
I don't know if this is a spoiler or not, so don't answer if it is. So in the trailer, he goes, okay, so is this a parallel universe, like a different Earth, or is this in the past, but on Earth 1? Because I'm a little confused on that.
Okay, they don't make it clear, but I'm
Okay.
assuming when he went back in time, he didn't go back on
Spoilers.
his own timeline. He went back on an internal. Because, like, even in the show, the TV show, when he goes backwards, there's things that doesn't add up
Right.
to where he came from. So I'm just assuming that when you go backwards in time, something changes. But
So it's
he
like a
changes
parallel.
something, and also it's as I said, I don't think, because if he went back in time, right, in his own timeline, you would have seen Henry Cavill would have been Superman in
right
this,
on.
right? So he must have went
It's
to
alternative.
an alternative timeline.
Well,
That's what
that's
he
not
probably did.
100% necessarily true. So in the story that it's based on with Flashpoint,
Yeah.
he goes back in time, which does alter the entirety of the timeline even before he goes back.
Are you talking about the comics?
Yes,
Yeah.
the story that
But-
this is originally based on.
Yeah, but with the film, it's not.
Yeah.
You can tell they screwed around with it because they didn't want Henry Cavill to be. In
Well, no,
it.
I get what you're saying. I
Yeah.
understand that. But what I'm saying is, so like in the comic, when he goes back to
Yeah.
a point that's after
Yes, yes.
when Superman would have landed.
Yeah,
on
but
Earth.
see,
But-
that doesn't for the film. It doesn't make any sense because when he goes back, Zod, Zod and all the rest, all the things that happen in Man of Steel happens. Therefore, if he did
Yeah.
go back in his own
Spoiler.
timeline, Superman would be there.
I mean,
But
I'm
Superman's
I'm
not there.
spoiling a comic from 15 years
Years
ago.
ago,
Right.
yeah.
So so like, but when he did go back, so like his landing point in the timeline is actually after the point where Superman shows up, but because of the ripple effect out from there,
Yeah.
Superman actually ends up in government hands
Yeah.
because of that.
If I may, with regards to Ezra Miller and everybody in the chat, I totally agree with you. Everybody in the chat, I totally agree.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm just going there to be.
I agree
entertained.
with everybody in the chat on
Yeah.
everything all the time, even the people
I
who are
don't.
disagreeing.
I
I
don't
disagree
either.
with chat all the time. I disagree with him on this one as well. Well, not on Ezra Miller's moral character, obviously, because he's a shit, and I don't think that's controversial to say.
Right.
But I will point out that Norman Mailer stabbed his wife twice. Doesn't change the fact he was a very good writer. Roman Polanski is a convicted paedophile. Doesn't change the fact he's a very good writer.
Yeah.
Oscar Wilde was imprisoned for a poem he wrote because society at the time said basically what I think I saw Princess Fiona say earlier, which is what the hell is wrong with you people for watching or reading this work by a man who's so morally repugnant as homosexuality was seen to be at the time. He wrote a good essay on the subject of what is now called aesthetic autonomism, which is essentially integral to the creation of any work of art. You must separate the art from the artist. If you don't separate the art from the artist, you might as well invite the reintroduction of the Crown Censor to adjudicate public morals on your behalf. That's not a solid basis for artistic production in any culture anywhere on Earth, and we've moved beyond that now. So yes, say what you like about Ezra Miller. I will. I'll say it in very, very strong terms and terms that will get me kicked off the stream, so I won't say it here. But it doesn't change the fact that The Flash could or could not be a good movie on its own terms.
Time Prophet in the chat. This is a guy who hasn't been to the cinema in 15 years. At Mr. Brownlights, by going to see Batman, you are paying for Ezra Miller.
Oh, yeah. And if you buy an iPhone, then you're supporting the death of workers in China. Okay, okay, fine.
Yeah.
Even a Google phone as
This
well.
is the most animated I think you've been in a while, Platoon.
He's on fire.
Usually he's very stoic.
There you go.
The chat's bringing out the rough.
Darkside Bob, the Lord has spoken. We'll just leave that on tonight. We'll just finish there.
I'd just like to say, before we close on this, I'd just like to say, when Michael Keaton...
The next slide
was
is gonna be it.
all right, when Michael Keaton was presented on screen, because the theatre that was in...
Are you listening, folks? Are you listening?
When he
Listen,
was
folks.
presented on screen the first time we see him, the whole of the cinema cheered when they
I
saw it.
probably
That's
would
how
In
much,
Britain.
That's
in
how
Britain.
much... Yeah, that's how
What?
much he's liked as Batman.
What?
God's sakes, yeah.
Right on. So Henry Cavill did film a cameo for this movie, and I know they took it out because
Because of what's going on here.
Yeah. Do you ever think that we'll get to see that cameo? I heard there's a couple of cameos that they filmed, but they're not in the movie.
It'll see the light of day. It's
I hope so.
Maybe there'll be a super edition.
I'm assuming
mega
he's-
cut later.
He's
now,
in the
Maggie,
beginning. I'm assuming he's in the beginning. If they did film it, he would be, because what's his name? Ben Affleck's character as Batman. He's in the beginning.
Oh, okay.
Right on. And oh, sorry. Go ahead.
If I may, Garth Knight, another $5. Cheers, Garth. If Mega Geek signs off, this must be a film bordering on great.
I wouldn't go as far as to say that, but I will say it's very entertaining. Again, I wouldn't go as far as to say that Guardians of the Galaxy was great, but it was entertaining. So, you're not going to come out of the cinema thinking it was shit, put it that way.
I've never been in a theatre where everybody started clapping and
Well, the thing is, though,
shouting. I've never had the experience of that.
So this is like a BAFTA kind of stroke screening, and you got all these like middle class people there, and some of them bringing their kids and stuff. So some brought their kids, So the kids were cheering, and also majority of the adults was cheering when he came on screen.
Wow.
So I mean, do not underestimate the power of the bat. That's all I can say.
Right on.
So
Can
I
I
reckon
ask,
they're going to see the film because of bat. Sorry.
Yeah, can I ask something about your screening? So I've read online because they've done fan screenings and everything.
Yeah.
I read that they actually do not show the ending at these fan screenings. They kind of keep it like I don't want to give away anything, but there's the scene. No, I'm not going to give it.
At
I'm
the
not
ending.
going to
Yeah,
the
at the
ending, and then it goes straight to black. Like there's no credits. There's no. They don't. Did you see the ending, or did what? You did see the ending. Okay. I just wanted to know. I was just curious. I don't want to know what it was, but I do want to know what it was. But I'll ask you some other time.
I'm not going to tell you.
Are there
You
any
better.
post-credits? Are there any
Please.
post-credit sequences that we'll have to sit around for?
I'm not going to tell you either.
Oh yeah,
He's
tell us
gonna
if we
make
have to
us
stick
all
around because I will anyways. If you
I
don't,
think you
tell
should.
me.
All I can say is I think you should stick around.
Okay.
To the bitter end. Right,
To the
okay.
bitter
Shall we
end,
move
yeah.
on? Okay.
Yeah, move on.
Okay.
Oh,
So
God, you haven't moved on.
it's the opening weekend. It's not going to do very well, apparently. Forecasts.
And a small piece of this is their fault. They put out fan screenings. I mean, there's so many people that have seen this movie already. It's like, but at the same time, well, it's a month out or whatnot that they started showing these fan screenings. But also with Aquaman, they did do a week in advance where they were doing in advance screenings, and I thought but that one did make $1 billion. So I mean, Yeah, that's my thoughts on that. But they did it to themselves if they did it, because everybody's seen this movie. I mean, I've seen so many people online say they've seen it, and I'm just like, why would you do this a month before your movie
Here you go,
comes out?
folks. Hashtag R2Me2. So we're supposed to separate the art from the artist when the studios won't do the same. Like for Gina Carano, Henry Cavill. No, that.
I love you, chat. Even when you are being incredibly silly, and you are being incredibly silly, like, I thought it was kind of well established now that two wrongs don't make a right. Yes, studios are doing something wrong with
Three
Gina
wrongs
Carano.
make a right. What about
No,
four
it's-
wrongs?
no,
It's a triple negative. Actually, probably would.
No, it's three lefts make a right.
Three
Does
lefts
it?
make-
Yeah.
Yes, you're right. The studio was wrong to sack Gina Carano for her opinions.
Buckle
That does
in,
not mean
folks.
that you are forgiven for enacting exactly the same behavior in return. I don't understand how this is complicated.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, that told you.
Yeah, nerds.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll move on.
Moving along. Ooh. Tom
Way,
Cruise.
something different.
I'm excited for this
Dun,
movie.
dun, dun, dun. Yeah.
I think a lot of
can't
people
wait.
are.
Uh,
I maintain that it might end up being this year's Maverick.
Yeah, Mission Impossible. Maverick was out a year ago. Was it yesterday?
I can
Yes.
check that for you.
Yes.
Okay. Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning Part 1 is 2 hours and 36 minutes long. The longest Mission Impossible film.
What is it with
Until
these
part
long
2.
films? Why are they making those films so long?
I agree.
There's no need for it, really. There
Because
really
it's going to
isn't.
be good.
Well, I mean, I've got no doubt this film isn't good. I think it's going to be absolutely excellent. But still, though,
And
you got to go for a
Atwell's in
piss.
it
You
as
have to
well.
hold
Well,
it,
no,
don't you? It's ridiculous.
Haley Atwell. Haley
I
Atwell.
agree with this.
Oh,
I'll read it. I hope Haley Atwell is on screen for all 2 hours and 36
Yes.
minutes of this movie, because I 100% agree with that.
I
Well,
agree.
knowing Tom how vain he is, she probably isn't. So there you go.
You go, MC.
Yeah. It'll be good. It'll be good.
I mean,
Hopefully.
It's been a great series. I mean, except for the
gonna be
exception of
good.
2, every other one was pretty enjoyable. 2 is like just kind of the outlier in the series.
Yeah.
Smilex in the chat. Smilex, I'll sort your wrench out afterwards. Length is important.
Yeah.
Yes,
think
it
so.
is. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's got to be a
Still-
girthy film too. Yeah.
Yeah, still though, I mean, as I said, I don't understand why these big films are getting longer and longer. It's I think it's a bit silly, really. But anyway, whatever.
I did that. Actually, it was with The Little Mermaid when I sat down and I thought, I'm just going to sit down. I'll go through the film. I'll suffer it. I Googled the runtime and I thought, you know what? Fuck this. I'm buying a drink. There's no way I'm sitting through 2 hours of The Little Mermaid without this. But I'm just noting as well, no one in chat currently saying, well, I can't possibly separate the art from the artist when it comes to Tom Cruise, despite him being a Scientologist, which is one of the worst religions, well, fake religions ever invented
for
in the
sure.
history of mankind, that harasses people who try
Well-
to leave it, that's a con job that exploits people out of their money, that Tom Cruise is the main representative of, but we
I'm going
don't
to pick you up
judge the
there.
film by
I'm
that
gonna
standard,
pick you
do
up
we?
there. At least Tom respects his customers.
I mean, yes.
Okay.
But he's still a wackadoo.
Wackadoo. Oh, brilliant.
But
he is.
but I'm still listen. He can yell at as many cameramen as he wants. I'm still gonna go see this movie.
Yeah, I'm gonna go and see it.
Yeah,
I think he's a really good filmmaker and he's a really good actor. Obviously, like Oscar-winning performance is not it's not going to be in this film. We know that, but he's really good at entertaining the crowd. So I'm gonna the last Mission Impossible film was great. It was really entertaining. So I'm gonna go and see this. Definitely.
Yeah, I agree with and I agree with Dark Hour. I think that besides 2, even 2 was enjoyable, even though it was nonsense.
point, yeah.
But at the same time, they've been pretty good. So I mean,
They've
you know,
consistently gotten better as time has gone. That's
Yeah.
very rare for a long series, especially one that's crossed several decades like this.
Mhm.
But
For
he's
the film to get
decided.
better.
So from I think it was from 3, they've decided to connect all the films from 1 to 3. They were all separate story wise, but from when they introduced that was the JJ one. After the JJ one, all the films seem to be connected via a story. So I think that's what makes it different.
Yeah.
Thing.
Real quick from Iceman's comment, is Ghost Protocol the one with Henry Cavill in it? Because that's my favorite one so far.
No,
That's
that's
the last one. It was the last one. Yeah.
Okay,
Fallout.
then that one's my favorite. Henry Cavill was such a good bad guy.
Yeah.
I loved him as a bad guy.
Ghost
but-
Protocol was the one where Tom Cruise ran. That was what it was.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
okay, now I remember.
I'm
Okay,
joking.
yeah,
He
yeah.
runs and everything.
Yeah, well, like was that the which one was the one
I think it was
where
the
they
one
were like
with the sandstorm he had to run away from. If I recall.
yeah, because they were
Yeah.
hunting him down.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But you know what, right? I still think, right, that Tom should share the screen. Should share the screen with the rest of them because Mission Impossible,
sure.
the TV show, was about the group. It was
Yeah.
about each group doing an individual thing, right? But now what Mission Impossible turned into is James Bond. He is definitely James Bond with people helping him,
right.
you know. But I think maybe in this one, maybe he should have more, his group doing more, you know.
It probably wouldn't get
I don't
made
know.
then, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
guess.
and I agree with Smilex. I fancy Rebecca Ferguson also. She's very hot. All the women in this movie, though, I think they're all hot. So.
I get the impression she's hardly in it this one though.
Oh, you think so?
I think Haley is more so in it than her.
And that's fine. I like Haley Atwell also. She's quite beautiful.
She's lovely. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't say something negative about this movie. Okay, I'm thinking.
No. We wouldn't have without James Bond. We wouldn't have Mission Impossible. That is true. That is 100% true. But
Plus
Mission
they
Impossible
killed
was,
Bond.
well,
So,
Mission Impossible was its own thing as a TV show. It was never like the Tom Cruise version. But I do appreciate what Tom Cruise has done for the Mission Impossible movies. I think he's made it cinematic, and yeah.
It's going to be good.
Yeah, well, it's open.
Shall we move on?
Yeah.
John Wick.
Guess what, everybody?
Oh,
Lionsgate reveals a
Is it-
fifth John Wick movie.
it's
in
got to be a
the-
prequel, right?
No.
I mean,
No.
They'll find a way to bring it back.
No,
Well-
because no, seriously. I mean, this is not a spoiler now because everybody's seen it. He wasn't dead at the end.
No,
it
he
was
wasn't.
so obvious.
He
was so
wasn't.
obvious he wasn't.
Yeah.
You should listen to what they say at his graveside. Once
okay.
you listen to it very carefully, you know he's not dead.
Yeah.
I'll have to go back.
Agreed.
I've only watched it the one time, so I'll have to go back and watch it.
I even know in my head how they could write this. I've got the script sorted.
they'll start it. I have it. I know exactly.
I've got the idea.
Well,
for the
it
film.
starts with somehow John Wick has returned.
You know what? Right. When I was at the Comic Con,
He's not dead, everybody.
I saw 4 John Wicks at Comic Con. So there you go. So there you go.
That's funny.
One of them was
He's
probably
alive.
actually Keanu Reeves.
Probably.
He just shows up randomly at places. If you
I saw,
ride the New York subway, you can actually just randomly run into him like all the time.
I saw
Oh, that's cool.
Alison Doody was there as well. She was signing stuff. So,
Right on.
Yeah, man. Alison
I
Doody.
think they're making a game as well. Or there's reports that there's a game in
Yes.
development for John Wick, which
Will it be a
again is sort
shooter?
of crushing. I think it probably would be. I'd like to see him as like a DLC character in Smash Brothers, though. I think that would be much fun.
That would be cool.
But yeah, it's inevitable. Of course, he's not dead. Of course, they'll bring him back. It makes way too much money. It's too successful.
Exactly.
But
But the question is, what kind of a story are they going to bring him back in? You know, because they can't keep doing what they're doing because it's going to get old very, very fast.
I
only
thought
thing
the
is-
whole idea was they were going to make 5 films anyway. So this was always on the table.
Oh, was it? I don't know.
So
Yeah.
this is, I mean, this might end up being what Brownie was even saying. It's like, I would assume that if they were doing the fake death thing, it's to like for him to hide away from exactly where you were going with the because he wants to take down the entire
High table. Yeah.
and he can't do that as long as they think he's alive. Because they'll just keep sending this infinite number of
Right.
people after him. So
Right. Yeah.
So I'm assuming Brownie. That's
Well, that
exactly
is
what you're
the
gonna
next.
say.
Well, yeah, that is the next film. Take down the high.
But the thing
table.
is, though,
'Cause he's dead
he
now,
was,
yeah.
but he was cleared. The high table, set him free.
Yeah, but he doesn't care about that. He wants them dead.
Yeah, I guess he wants his finger back. I guess.
Everybody mark it down.
Well, he's
Me
never gonna get
and
that
Brownie
back.
have
Yeah.
put
He's
together
never
the
gonna get that
storyline
back.
that they're going to end up using, and they're going to owe us a lot of money for
Yeah.
the.
I do
doing
believe
it.
John
The
Wick
best
is on.
thing they could do with this, the best thing they could do as a start, is when they bring him back, he does not have access to his bullshit bulletproof blazer. Because there are no stakes in any fight scene in which he's
Kevlar,
wearing
mate.
that. And if you want to reintroduce stakes to this film in a way that actually makes fight scenes consequential, and you kind of wonder sometimes whether he's going to win or die, then yeah, take away his kit and do away with his bulletproofness and the fact that he somehow tanks being hit by lorries. No more of that, and maybe it'll be an interesting film.
So just
I agree,
Just
I agree.
Kratos the shit out of him. Just take away all of his everything at the
Yeah,
beginning.
it's a new Game Plus experience.
I think I've been told off by Time Profit. At least you could warn us before spoiling a movie. I'm leaving now. I'm
the
only up to
film's been out for months.
2 months. Yes.
Yes, we're well past the 2-week general.
2 months.
Oh, by the way, Snape kills Dumbledore. Sorry.
Jesus dies at the end, but he gets better.
Well, as it's your
The
call.
butler
Time.
did it.
But we do appreciate you being here. Put it that
For
way.
sure, yeah. Absolutely. I love Melvin.
So, what is a feasible time now with spoilers? 2 months, 3 months?
I
4
mean,
months?
I always
How
go
many?
with the
6
2
months.
Oh, see, I give you 24 hours. I'm sorry, but I ain't got time for your nonsense. The world
That's
moves
why
way
almost
too
all
fast.
of my almost anytime I do a review, which isn't very often with my channel, but when I do a review, I try my best to avoid.
You said
like,
doo-doo.
doo-doo. When my crappy channel apparently no I always try to avoid like the last like 20 or so minutes of the movie, just to like obviously you have to do some spoilers for the middle, but I always try to avoid that last like 20, like the last quarter of the movie,
Which I
Here
get.
you go, folks. Melvin Deeply. I finished watching John
Oh,
Wick
I said
4
Melvin.
today. I think it's the third best of the 4 films. Too many stretches in this one. Shouted off at least 3 times.
Yeah, I think I'm probably with you on that. The first
I'll
one,
agree with that.
is okay. The second one is less okay. The third one is less okay again, and the fourth one is just funny.
Yeah.
The thing is, it's kind of like the Fast and Furious movies that with John Wick, they've just taken out all the logic out of it, and it's just a ride now. But I appreciated the
Yeah.
ride from
Yeah.
the last movie.
Yeah, I'm the
I
same
thought
way.
was very entertaining, very silly, very funny, and very entertaining.
Yeah, I
Uh,
love that. I love that like German guy with with the fat suit, but
Yeah.
I
Scott
love
Adkins.
he was
Yeah, brilliant.
yeah, he was my favorite.
he's not actually German, but
Right.
I
right.
loved that scene because he he's like using the inhaler. He can barely move when he's sitting, and then he just goes full Scott Adkins out of nowhere.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Spoilers: Scott Atkins' character dies. Everybody.
Yeah.
He'll be
I
back.
like seeing characters like that. Like I just like seeing the different types of like assassins and stuff like that in those movies. It's very cool. So.
I don't think it constitutes a spoiler that if you say there's a character in John Wick that he ends up fighting John Wick,
Yeah, right.
he dies. That's not a spoiler. That's an
Yeah.
expectation.
I would agree.
Well, 2.5 months isn't enough, apparently. So, shall we move on?
Yeah.
I'll be back.
Filmmaker
God,
James
no.
Cameron confirms he has started writing a new Terminator project, but he wants to wait for AI technology to develop more before.
So we can write the script for him.
Ugh.
I mean, historically, let's take out the ridiculous amount of time between the Avatar movies. He basically made an entire film to as a tech demo for the technology for the second movie.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
the Abyss is basically just there to exist to try out the T-1000 special effects.
No, but he cared about the Abyss, though.
Oh no, he still cared about it, but like it started out essentially as a tech demo of them being like, we're gonna need this.
Here you go,
Do you know what's
folks.
going to happen in the next Terminator film? He's probably going to concentrate on the person that they based the Terminator on. That's what he's probably
Well,
going
they
to do.
already sort of hinted at that several
Yeah,
times.
that's what I think he's going to do, because you can't just keep making the same movie over and over again,
Right.
which is what they've been doing.
Yeah, write a film about the guy who created the Terminator.
Well, it's not the guy who created the Terminator. It's I reckon it's the guy they based the Terminator on. So they bring back Arnie as an old man, and they based the Terminator on him. That's
Yeah.
probably
But
what he's going to do.
didn't he say he would never do another Terminator movie?
Yeah, I thought he said he wasn't coming back.
Yeah, but James Cameron, you know, it's James
buddy.
Cameron.
Cameron
James
has that
Cameron.
ability to
His
convince
buddy.
people of things.
Yeah, it's his buddy. Yeah, so you know.
Honestly, like it's weird because like Terminator 2 is one of my all-time favorite films, but if they would have left
Good
it at
movie.
just the first one, that actually probably still would have been like it was like basically a perfect loop of a movie, and it
Yep.
would have just maintained forever. I do every time they add something after, even like, and what I'm getting at is even the addition of a fantastic film like the second one created problems, and everyone subsequently has created more and more issues with their timeline.
Mhm.
I would just quit, like just decanonize everything that isn't Terminator 1 and 2 and just quit while you're ahead.
They did that in the last one, didn't they?
I decanonize that one too.
Yeah,
Just decanonize all of it.
yeah.
But
Why
everybody
doesn't-
seems to forget, right? The first Terminator was a horror. It
Yeah,
was a
it was
sci-fi
slasher.
horror,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
maybe that's what it should do with this one. Maybe you should bring that element back in the new one. Who knows?
I don't think you can
Yeah.
at this point. It's
Maybe he's
people-
waiting.
Mm.
Oh,
Sorry,
sorry.
go
Maybe he's waiting for Skynet actually to write
Right, a
I mean,
documentary.
ChatGPT is on its way.
Skynet in the making, folks.
I have
only
a feeling.
opposed- Sorry, Doug. After you.
I was gonna say I have a feeling if you asked ChatGPT to write a movie about to write a sequel to Terminator, it would write it from the perspective of Skynet being the protagonists.
The goodie.
That's so funny.
And that'll be the downfall of the human race, won't it? I'll go,
Right.
that's a good idea. It'll run with it.
I wouldn't be opposed
Right.
though to it going further back to its roots in that one of the strongest aspects of Terminators 1 and 2, which none of the other films have managed to capture, is it's a character-led story. This is not just this big bombastic action epic. That's many people remember. The action sequences in T2 are superb, but it is still fundamentally a family story with a very small cast of main characters, and you do spend most of your time getting to know them and the struggles in their own personal lives, which just gives stakes to the combat that happens around them. If you go back to a genre much more like sort of the psycho horror type genre, that maybe will rein in the temptation just to go all in for CGI and huge explosions, and then go back to having a real anchor character that you can actually sympathize with.
Yeah, and no, I totally agree. And as I said, the beauty of the first one compared to the second one was that it was a sci-fi horror. There was a lot of cutting hands open and eyes and and blood and everything. So it'll get a top rating. But it might make the film better. I don't know.
Here you go, folks. Side effects. Geriatric Terminator. His struggle to get to the plapa.
Yeah.
Very good.
But in Terminator 2, those helicopter stunts were incredibly dangerous. None of that was done with CGI. It was literally a guy in a helicopter going under those bridges. That is mad.
They found like the world's most insane pilot and just let him go.
They did it. Yeah, they did it.
Crazy.
Brownie, have you ever done a breakdown on the channel of the Terminator films? I know you did Predator. I don't know if have you ever done the Terminator one?
I can't remember. Did we do the
Nor
first
can
one?
I.
I can't remember.
Sign me up if you ever do it, because
I think we did the
I
second
can wax
one.
poetic about either
We've not
of those
done.
films.
We've not. I don't think we've done the Terminator. I think we did the first one, but not the second one. But anyway, should we move on?
Yep.
I don't want to.
Oh, anybody see this?
This is unironically the funniest thing about She-Hulk.
Right.
Marvel has submitted the superhero comedy. That's what you call it. She-Hulk, Attorney at Law, for 19 Emmy categories, including Outstanding Comedy, and giving a nod to Patty Guggenheim, who played the fan favorite Madison.
They were fans.
I mean, I did like the
fans.
Madison character. I'll give him that. But
Nah, this is a joke, right?
No, it's true.
I mean, you could submit whatever you want.
right.
Like, doesn't mean they're going to get any nominations.
Yeah, like you can. Yeah, like submitting versus nominated is very different. You
Yeah.
can
Yeah, Rings
I
of Power
enjoyed
submitted
She-Hulk.
itself for every single category and got one award, and it was one of the least consequential ones. But they did at least submit themselves for the category. It just says something, I think, about. I mean, yeah, the sheer fucking hubris, to coin a phrase. People who
Yeah.
think that this is actually it deserves a
is.
Razzie or two. But the
I
Emmys,
literally was going to say the same thing. That it's hubris that they think that their show was good enough to be even submitted,
bin.
and I was like, they're ridiculous.
Oh well, never mind. Good luck to them. That's all I can say. Because awards mean nothing today.
Yeah, and it makes me
Absolutely
it makes me just go, you guys seriously like can nobody these days ever look at something that they wrote and go, you know what? Most people didn't like it. Maybe I wrote some shitty stuff. Maybe I am in the wrong here. No, these people can't do that. They just think they're just so amazing that they're just like, oh, we're going to put this forward to get nominated, you guys. And everybody's all like, yes, Jessica, we're going to do it.
Didn't Z3PO, who is on here most weeks, start having a go at the guy who wrote the Willow TV series,
he did. I saw that.
which was piss
Yeah.
funny.
Z is like one of the funniest people I think I've ever listened to in my life. Like,
He is very funny.
Here you go, folks. Oh, is that Ohio Pigeon? Shittle.
Shit called. That's good.
It's a real shame.
enjoyed the TV series.
It
I
could have
enjoyed
been
it.
so good.
It
It
could
was
have been.
shite, but I enjoyed it.
It could have been so good. It's a shame.
It could have been, yes.
Absolute nonsense.
It was, yeah, ridiculous.
She-Hulk, like specifically the John Byrne run, is one of my all-time favorite like minor comic storylines, and they couldn't do it. It's just the problem is it's layered with too many things that would be considered problematic nowadays.
Nothing is problematic. It's only the people that think it's
It's
problematic.
us.
I said would be considered
We're,
problematic.
we're problematic.
But it says something. So Willow is currently in the process of being completely yeeted from Disney Plus. They're taking it off of the platform.
Yes.
And I don't think Willow was so much worse than She-Hulk that one of those deserves to stay and the other one has to go. Willow I found way more entertaining than She-Hulk. Not for the
Really?
right reasons, but it was very funny to watch.
It
Unlike
was very
She-Hulk, which
funny.
was just kind of shocking. How
That's
the hell
because
do you
Willow
think
has
this
a
is funny?
male lead. That's why.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
There you go,
that's why.
Franco Walker and Mr. Brown Line says me, you did a review of Terminator 1 year ago.
The
Well,
first
it's-
one.
It's time to do Terminator 2,
Yeah,
featuring
you should do
Dark Hour.
Terminator.
I
Featuring
wished I'd
Dark Hour.
saved all the slides.
We
from
did
the
True
cinema.
Lies, didn't we? Did we do True
No,
Lies?
I've
we've
watched-
not
I've
done
watched-
it.
I've watched like a bunch of them, but it's like there was a lot. There's so many of them that it's like
Yeah.
The one that we did that a lot of people watch was Spy Love Me. Spy Love Me got loads of views. as far as
I
can
think it's
see.
on about 37,000 views at the
Yeah,
moment.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's
good.
And I've made about £4.
Great. At least you made some money.
£4.
£4.
So we're never going to see Shite Hulk again. Shame. I enjoyed it. Moving on.
Yeah, I think you travel in a large group of one.
Okay, this is for the Brits, everybody.
Who's this then?
Angela Rayner reportedly tried to claim a second pair of Apple earphones using taxpayer cash.
Oh,
I'm trying to spot the link between the last story and this one. The only link I've come up with is overrated, talentless woman.
is she a
Angela Rayner is-
presenter or something?
No,
Or is
she's deputy
She's an
leader of the
MP.
Labour Party.
Oh, is she? Wow.
Yeah, frequently goes on about the government wasting people's hard-earned cash whilst famously claiming a lot of money on expenses.
I think she lost one of the earphones, earbuds. So she had to buy another one, claiming that she needs it to listen to stuff while she's working. So she charged the taxpayer.
so. I mean, just buy them yourself. Like that's. That's. I mean, I get the urge to not have to pay and use taxpayer money, and I this is not an exclusive British thing. This happens in the United States constantly. But like, it just makes you look like such a terrible individual when you do stuff like that, especially if you're a person who's claiming that there needs to be less government spending and stuff, or like less.
Oh, she's not claiming less government spending. She's just because she's the Labour Party, so
Oh,
she
okay.
wants the government to have all of your money, so
Oh,
she
okay,
can buy
sorry.
all of the Apple earphones. But she will criticize the Conservatives for being mean to poor people while using poor people's money to buy her very expensive Apple headphones.
Gotcha,
So
gotcha.
it's more of a hypocrisy story than a misuse of public money.
That's what
story, I
gets
think.
me, Lord. I don't give a toss that she's bought them. It's just the sheer double fucking standards what gets me.
Don't care, don't vote.
Every time.
Don't care about them. Don't vote. Don't care about any party. Don't vote. It's a waste of time. All of it's a waste of
Same.
time.
I am completely with you there.
Didn't she flash certain parts?
Well, that was the story that came out
Allegedly.
a few months back when the quotes
How old
were
is she?
attributed
Little
to her.
devil, isn't she?
She said, well, a friend of hers anonymously told a newspaper that she had told an anonymous friend that she would occasionally show her, and I quote, ginger growler to
Wow.
opposition members of parliament to distract
Wow.
them during their speeches. She, of course, denied the story. But,
It's funny because like I just like as this is going on, I'm like looking at
Brilliant.
that the picture they chose for this particular thing is so much better than every other picture of this woman ever taken. Like she is definitely an interesting person, like interesting
So
looking person.
focus. Okay, I think I've been told off here. Look, here we go. Caranitos. Brownie, you read too much Daily Mail. What's thing is, I don't
well, I
read
mean,
any
you can see
newspapers
the
at all, to be
source at the
fair.
top of that screen. The source is quite clearly not the Daily Mail. It's Talk TV.
It's Talk TV.
Talk TV, mate. I don't read newspapers. Moving on.
No, not many people do. That's why they're dying. But as a former journalist, I can say not before time.
Okay. I used to work at a newspaper many years ago.
So
Printed
I don't
newspaper.
understand. I really don't understand what's going on. I mean, is she been sleeping with a lot of people and shit like that? Then this woman.
Don't think
No idea.
so. I mean, well,
No.
well, hang on. Well,
That's not the story.
it's a bit of a low blow, but she famously. I think I'm right in
That's
saying
what she said.
she left school at 16. She's a grandmother before the age of 36, I think. And she became
Council girl
shadow
made good, apparently.
shadow education secretary for a
Yeah.
while, which is funny for someone who never completed school. But it does
Yeah.
explain why the education system is quite so screwed as it is.
Council girl who made good,
Yeah,
apparently.
I wouldn't hold that against
All
her.
on
But she
taxpayers'
will
money,
she
but
will go
yeah.
on about on one day she will say it's how terrible that the Conservatives are using nasty rhetoric about migrants, and then the day after she'll get drunk and go to a party and call all Conservative or right wing people scum. So yeah, she's not a morally upstanding human being, but
Yeah,
I don't
well
think she's
taken,
so
that
much worse than anybody else in the House of Commons.
Sheer double standards, everybody, in a nutshell.
Mega Geek,
Sure,
just to piggyback on what you asked, every picture on Google, if you just search her name, her mouth is wide open. So
Okay,
Just-
I'm looking now. Actually, let's see her mouth.
because I was just like looking to like I just searched like to see if I could get any information on this person, so I didn't sound like an idiot talking about
Here you
her.
go, folks. I'll rim you. Brown would be like a rat up a drain pipe.
So Brown, would you give her one or no?
What?
She's got
a
big
mark out of
boobs.
10, yeah, one.
She's
There
got
you
big
go.
boobs.
And a
So-
ginger growler,
There you go.
apparently.
Hmm.
The best. Here you go. Double in standards.
Wow,
Yes.
she. Oh my gosh.
Here you go. Oh, chat moved up. Sorry, chat's moved up so fast. Sorry. Sheer double standards. We'll do a quick super
Yeah.
chat while we're here. Romeo Tango November Zulu for $5.50 NZ dollars. At work on morning tea break. Looking forward to listening on my home drive. Rest in peace, Tina Turner, Ray Stevenson, and of course, Calculon. Live long and prosper.
Enjoy your cuppa.
I'd avoid the first hour of the show, mate.
Sorry, but this girl's boobs are huge.
Oh, let's
They're huge, man. What's going on? Seriously.
all of a sudden the Mega Geek became interested in this story.
No, I was
Let's
just
move
looking
on.
her up, and I realised that she's like there's one.
I
She's,
interrupt more like
she's basically got this low cut thing, and she's speaking in a mic, and her boobs are freaking huge. What? What's going on here? Yeah, you know what? I reckon she's going to be at the end of the day, she's going to be the leader of the Labour Party. I reckon.
You'd vote for her then, yes?
I wouldn't vote. I don't vote
Just,
for
just
anyone.
vote for her cleavage. That's what he wants to do.
That's what people are going to do. They're going to vote for her cleavage. She's going to
And
end up.
the growler.
I'm telling
Well,
you now.
that is important.
I'm telling you now. She's going to end up running the Labour
Okay,
Party.
speaking of tits, did anybody see this guy?
Yes. And he
I have no
deserves
idea.
it.
Someone
What
get
was
Is it
happened
Mizzy
here?
or Mitzi or Mizzy or something?
Yeah,
I think it's Mizzy.
Mizzy, yeah.
What
Go on,
happened?
Catty. What's the story behind this idiot?
So he is he was a TikToker, and he does these pranks over on your side of the pond. And some of the most egregious ones are he would walk into random people's homes and and him and his friends, and then he would walk up to women and be like, "Hey, do you want to die?" And or are you ready to die? And he was basically, and like one prank, he walked up to this old woman in a park, was asking her about her dog, and then he just picks up her dog and then runs away with it.
Oh,
And
I
I'm all
have heard about this guy.
yeah, he's a total douche, and he deserves nothing but everything he gets. You get what you freaking deserve, and he deserves to go. He's been arrested twice now, I think. And he hasn't learned. And he did. There was an interview he did on Piers Morgan, where Piers Morgan just let him
Car
have it.
crash.
And he's obviously stupid. And
Is
and
it
he
because I is black?
yeah, and that's another. I'm just
knobhead.
yeah, and he wants to bring up his race, but then when Piers Morgan brought up the fact that he was jumping on an Orthodox Jew, he was like, "Why do you keep saying Orthodox Jew?" And he's like, "I did this to other people," and I'm like,
That was
"Well, you brought up
awful.
your race, so now he gets to bring up something you did to
He was
somebody
also
else." And-
explicitly mocking Jews in several of
Yes.
his pranks. So it wasn't
Yeah.
just they happen to be Jewish. It was, I'm wearing a stupid hat to take the piss out of you because you're Jewish.
exactly. So, go ahead, you go.
Well, I mean, I don't really like the way the story's ended up, though, because, yeah, I mean, Maya Tusi says it's the moment he knew he fucked up. He's already out. He
Yeah.
went to court. The court handed down, they basically gave him a £200 fine and said, don't do it again.
Right.
Which is, I'm pretty sure, a less strict sentence than you would have got if you were, say, out on the streets protesting lockdowns, for example, whilst not doing any criminal damage or breaking any known laws.
Yeah.
So he will do it again. He's also been told he's not allowed to post anything to social media without the consent of people featured in his video, which I think was already the law. But okay, that's not really much of a punishment. He'll be doing it again because he is a pathological narcissist. Basically, he wants
here you
fame
go.
and attention at all
He
cost.
Yeah, this was the latest one, Smilex. He also boarded a train and fiddled with the controls. What an ass.
Yeah.
How? Like you can't. Like, I don't know about.
He broke
British
into
trains.
the cab of the train and tried
That's
to...
really difficult to do in the United States. So I'm not sure how easy it is. In
Yeah, and
Britain.
I saw this great cartoon where it was like if he walked into a house in the United States and the guy just like puts in some earplugs and he grabs a gun, and I was like, that's so true. He would not want to walk inside my
Yeah,
house.
that's
country.
that's your invader gun. in the
Yeah,
United
I'm like,
also- Everybody has that gun.
yeah. But I'm just like, I don't know what the laws are in Britain, but I'm just like, I don't understand.
You're not actually allowed to have guns in this country, sadly.
Here you go.
And-
Okay,
and
don't worry, we
do
have
you
plenty
guys,
for you.
Do you guys just leave your doors unlocked that people could
course
just
we
walk?
don't.
We locked them.
Because
Here
like,
you
go ahead.
Bum gums, fake. The people in his videos are all actors.
Then you know something the court didn't.
Right. Yeah.
But the thing is, we don't leave the doors open. They wait to see a door is open, so they're waiting, and then they all charge in. I think I saw a video of this. It was more than just him, wasn't it? With other people as well. Other people have been doing this as well. Yeah. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be really stupid to just walk into someone's house in the United States. Really dumb.
yeah.
But you are more likely. It was a big controversy throughout sort of the late 1990s as self-defense laws in this country were watered down. So I think the Blair government, one of its first major sort of civil criminal prosecutions was, I think it was a farmer who was, farmers are allowed to have guns for certain purposes, and he defended his home against an armed intruder. The intruder survived. The farmer went to prison. And that sort of is kind of roughly where we are at the moment. So your self-defense laws are quite nebulously defined in this country. You're not allowed to use any object that the police think you wouldn't reasonably have had on you at the time. So let's say someone's invaded your house. They've stolen some stuff, they've threatened you, they've run away. You've chased them out. The police will look at that and say, well, what were you holding anything? Say you picked up something to use as a weapon. And then the police will say, well, I can understand why you might have had a crowbar in your understairs cabinet, so that's understandable. I don't understand why you would own a baseball bat, so you're going to prison now. And that's basically the arbitrage that takes place. But the problem with people like Mizzy is that this is one of the many, many reasons that you get complete collapses in social trust, particularly in big cities like London, because the police are not relied upon anymore to actually enforce basic civic trust laws. If Mizzy can do this and get off with a slap on the wrist, which is essentially what has happened, other people are doing the same thing. And, I've called the police on people. I've had people break into one of my boats was broken into. The police turned up and says, yeah, we can't do anything about it. So you cease having any trust in the central authority that governs the city nominally. And then you take much stricter measures to protect yourself, but you might go to prison for using those. You cease to trust your neighbors. You cease to trust the people that you live around. And the city becomes this really nasty place to be where no one likes each other. Everyone distrusts each other. And Mizzy is directly contributing to that, which is why you need harsher sentences for people like this who commit seemingly minor things. They are seemingly minor what he's doing, although some of them are rather more major than that. But assuming, I'm pretty sure that would have come out, I think. But you need a visible presence to crack down on precisely this kind of behavior, because this is the kind of behavior that leads to much more serious criminality down the line. And that's not what we have. And so we have more of this kind of behavior and also more serious criminality.
Here you go, folks. Drew Gordon. Robert Downey Jr. walked into a stranger's house and went to sleep in a child's bed because he was drunk and high on Pepsi. He got jail for it.
Pepsi. I'm sorry, I wasn't expecting that. Yeah, but they weren't home at the time, so that that actually probably would have ended quite differently if people were home.
Well, I will say, assuming this guy isn't an actor, it's not going to end well if he carries on the way he does, and it's going to be somebody who's innocent, i.e., one of his prankies, or go to jail for doing something very bad to him. But anyway,
Brownie, can you highlight Melvin Deeply's last comment in the chat?
Do you want to read it then?
Yeah, tip to Brits: if you have a baseball bat in your home or car, have a baseball glove and generally a ball.
Nice.
Yeah, that's true.
Very
I've had friends who are police officers tell me if you have all three in your car, it cannot be considered an offensive weapon. It can just be considered, it's still an offensive weapon, but it can't be considered with intent to use as an offensive weapon because clearly you have all the equipment.
Welcome to self-defense tips on the Mr. Brown Alliance channel.
I mean, I could give plenty of self-defense tips. The best one is to just run away. That always the best one.
Run. Okay. Speaking of running, let's run away. Yay! Some Doctor Who. Yes. The rest in peace Calculon chick, Indira Varma, has been cast in the new Doctor Who series.
What's this? Sorry, I've just come back.
It's more about the new Doctor Who series.
She's been cast in the new Who? What? Why? Who is
I
she?
don't know. She's a good actress.
I don't know who she is.
She was in Star Wars.
She was in Star Wars. Which one?
Obi.
I never saw that one.
I remember from Game of Thrones. She was Oberyn Martell's wife. She was
in
the first couple of seasons of Luthor as his missus as well.
Oh, of course, yeah. She's very pretty. Yeah,
good actress.
It's a shame Doctor Who isn't casting any white males, isn't it? For some reason, it's always women and gay people. That's what they cast.
We can't assume the gender of the character she's going to be playing.
Comment.
So.
I don't know either. I mean, I just think it's weird how they're not telling us about the story of what monsters Doctor Who's fighting. They're just telling us about the casting this woman, the casting this person because he's trans, blah, blah, blah. That's all they seem to be concentrating on for some reason.
You go, Garth Knight. This gal is hot.
She is.
Fog. You go, rest in peace. Calculon. Yes, I think the chat are appreciating that. Look,
is there some film noir you're shooting there, Matt? With the with the
Here you go,
light down
folks.
your
This is
face.
great. Look. No,
Sorry.
no.
Okay.
Film the
There
wall.
he is, folks. Isn't he beautiful?
All of a sudden,
everybody?
he's going to be like, and there she was.
Yeah.
The room.
It was then Matt realized that.
The kind of woman you just want to do weird stuff with.
I will say chat. Max out of 10 for Matt Cat, everybody.
That's funny. That's hilarious.
Okay, so we're going to get a decent actress for who? She's probably
Yeah.
just guesting.
It's not going to help if the actual
Yeah.
show is absolutely.
She's a great
bollocks, isn't it?
actress.
Yeah, she's a
She
good
is.
actress. She's very
Yeah.
pretty as
She
well.
was one of the
She is very
highlights
pretty.
of Obi-Wan and
Yeah.
Calclon, obviously.
Yeah.
Okay. Here you go, Smilex.
I give him
Okay.
a 1 out of 10. Out of 10.
And the
No,
mouse 1.
Oh.
Sorry,
Is that
chat
good?
moved
Is
up.
that good or bad? Are they talking about
No,
me?
it's good. Yeah, you. Yeah.
Oh.
They'd give you 1 out of 10. Yeah, they give you
Oh.
1.
Yeah. Okay. Yay.
Okay.
Yay.
It's one of those jokes that I think a lot of people don't even really understand 100% anymore, but it's been around for a while. So it's-
And on that bombshell, we'll move on.
Who's this?
I have no idea.
Yeah, I didn't either.
I've seen her and stuff. I just can't picture what I can't remember. what I've
Alita
seen.
Battle Angel.
Oh yeah.
I think
yeah,
that's-
when they CG'd over
yeah.
her face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See,
But I love that movie. She was good in it. So
she's in Captain America New York. Is this a movie?
yeah, it's the
Oh,
next
okay.
movie,
Yeah.
which they've started
Yeah,
filming.
start moving, yeah.
Have they?
Yeah. I
Who's
wonder.
Captain America?
It's yes. It's
It's Captain Falcon.
yeah.
You have to do
Oh,
better, Ian.
Captain
okay.
Falcon.
Yes.
Yeah.
You have to do better.
Ian.
It's not Captain America though, is it? So
No. And I mean, go ahead. Go ahead.
Here you go,
Which one of
folks. Melvin Deeply. I have an autograph.
Yeah, she seems very charming in real life.
I've always said that Captain America is one of the characters that I'm 100% okay with being a different person because it's a rank. And it's an actual mantle, unlike Thor, which they've tried to do.
Oh, hold on. Did you
But-
say it was a what? It was a. What did you say there?
It was a rank.
It's a rank.
I thought you
A
said
what?
something completely different there.
No, it's a rank. He's a captain. It's a rank.
Right.
okay.
The only
They-
thing is, the comic books, it never really worked if Steve Rogers was.
He always ended up getting it back.
Yeah, 'cause
every time.
Yeah, it didn't work, and I mean maybe they know how to write it better in this movie. I doubt it, but we'll see. But it never really worked in the comic books if it was anybody but Steve Rogers. So I mean, I'm not saying it can't be good. And I love Anthony Mackie. I think he's very somebody that you can like. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
He the thing about Anthony Mackie too, like he waited till they basically like hitched their wagon to him as Captain America, then he was like, yeah, this is fucking stupid.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. And I love. There's this great clip of they montage of him just going cash the check or write the
Cash
check.
the
I was like Anthony Mackie gets it. This guy gets it. But
Great actor.
I do like this girl, this Rosa Salazar. Well, I mean, I've only seen her in that Alita Battle Angel movie, which I really liked a lot. But we'll
I've
see.
seen it.
Does anybody know? Do they know who she's playing? Did it say in this article who she's playing?
I think I read earlier that she's been cast as Diamondback,
Oh, okay, yeah.
which is a little weird because Diamondback is very intrinsically connected to Steve Rogers. Oh, go on.
No, I was just gonna say, yeah. Maybe they can still. Maybe he's in the movie, just like flashbacks. I don't know, but we'll see. I'm not.
Is she going to have all the funny one-liners and be better than Captain
course.
Falcon and
Yep.
It's
kick-ass
funny
and
because
stuff?
in the comics, Diamondback was a member of basically essentially a group of joke villains called the Serpent Society.
Yeah.
And she was kind of like one that jumped back and forth between like being, because she had the hots for Steve Rogers, so she would like join him, go back, and her and a lot of them would get their asses handed to them all the time. So I don't really know how they're going to translate that over very well.
They're not. It's going to flip it. Captain Falcon will get his ass handed to him all the
Bestest
time. And
ever.
she'll save him and stuff. You could see it coming a mile away. There you go. But such is life.
Well, You can always hold out hope that they'll turn the ship around and realize that the problems that they've had.
Well, they will turn the ship around right into the rock that's behind it. Probably.
Who knows? It may be written well, but
I doubt it.
Yeah.
Is that freckle girl coming back? Is she?
Oh, Freckle
don't-
Jesus.
I don't think
Yeah.
so.
dead, isn't she?
Is she dead?
Yeah, I think she
Did
she
she
died.
get killed?
Yeah,
'Cause
yeah.
I stopped watching the show after the second episode.
Yeah, she did die. She did die. Now that you say that, I yeah. Plus,
Or was it the third episode? I can't remember.
yeah,
You
yeah.
need to try better, Ian. Let's move
And
on.
that costume he wears is so awful.
Yeah, it
Actually looks a lot like the one that they gave to Falcon when he became Captain America in the comics. Oh,
Yeah.
It's a little bit whiter in the comics, but the general look is pretty accurate.
Yeah, I think he's got a new suit. You can't really see it on the set pictures that they have because it's only from like the right here up, and it's like not much to go on. But it looks like they did change the outfit from the show.
Here you go, folks. Smilex, tough questions. As per, will Cap be hidden on the China poster?
Absolutely,
Probably. It'll probably be this girl that's stepping in front of him.
probably,
huffing him.
probably.
Captain America's
They'll
back.
just accidentally put Chris Evans on the picture.
Yeah.
Stop giving. Sorry, Marlin83. Stop giving Disney your dollars. Mega Geek is dead on their evil.
Yeah, they are. I think they are. But, whatever.
Okay, let's move on.
Jon Snow, but not the one from Channel 4.
HBO's, or is it Max? Francesca Orsi confirms they are working deeply on the Jon Snow series to get it in shape for potential green light.
I don't want it.
Yeah. Nobody wants this. Nobody wants this.
yeah.
But why
I'm
aren't
not
they
sure this
creating
will go
new
well.
stuff? Why aren't they creating new stuff? Why do they keep
I
going
think-
back to the well?
Theoretically, this would be. I mean, it would be a development on the story, so it wouldn't be sort of a remake or a rehash of something. It would be continuing Jon Snow's story, I assume, at least from the close of season 8 of Game of Thrones. I don't think that will work particularly well. House of the Dragon escaped because it was set so far back in time that it was sort of classed as a different production. But people are not happy about the way Game of Thrones ended. Season 8 was not good. And continuing off of that with a Jon Snow story will have to refer presumably back to the very things that people fell out of love with Game of Thrones for in the first place. So I'm not, I wouldn't be as confident this one will do as well as House of the Dragon did at all.
I agree.
Oh, well.
The only thing that could possibly make this work for me and probably other people that didn't, like, obviously almost everybody hated the last season, is if they used it as a way to retcon things and change and like basically redo the ending. That's the only way I could see it happening. If people actually were interested in that.
Nobody in the chat wants it.
Yeah, I'm not interested
No.
in this.
Well, they're
either.
all quoting his only line from one of his only 2 lines from the last season was "I don't want it," and "She's my queen."
Here you go.
Queen.
Andy Mouse 123. Jon Snow read the news, didn't he? Yes.
He did, yeah.
He
He
did,
did.
yes.
What will they do with his dialogue now that McQueen is dead? They'll have to actually come up with a line that isn't just. Yeah, I don't
Gets
think they even
in.
know.
He was
I don't
McQueen.
even know. Like,
Bin.
what is. She was McQueen, yeah. But I don't even know what his character is anymore. His character was completely destroyed in season 8, so they would have to build it up again.
Here you go, folks. I don't know what this means, but Drew Gordon reset the White Walkers, and it could work.
The White Walkers were the big evil threat north of
Yeah.
the wall, the zombie army thing, who were
Oh,
supposed
Scottish.
to, who were, yeah, basically Scott. No, those were the Northmen. They're different. The White Walkers are like even more north than Scotland.
So like the Icelanders.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Icelanders. But they were always built up as being the big threat of Game of
bin.
Thrones, and then in the end, it was just fuck him. Arya appears from nowhere and stabs the Night King, despite having no
Right.
history with that character at all.
Hey,
Right.
Jon Snow screamed at a dragon. Come on.
He did. That's true. yes.
I love it when the lurkers get triggered. The buzzkill, hello buzzkill. It won't get picked up until that fat bastard finishes the books. Got is dead.
Well, he doesn't need to finish the books for this one because this is nothing to do with the last book. This would be effectively after it. Like I said, the only thing I could think of making it successful is if they literally use this to be like, yeah, the we're gonna undo the things from the last season, and that could end up happening.
Caranatos spoiler swap. Sorry, folks. We kind of broke the 2.5 month rule. Sorry, folks.
I mean, when did that season
2.5
come out?
years.
Sorry, we broke the 5-year rule. Sorry, folks. Sorry, Time Prophet.
Yeah.
I think that was pre-COVID.
Yes,
Yeah, he's
We
just
broke
joking.
the 7-year
He's
rule,
joking.
everybody. Okay, nobody wants it. Moving on. Can anybody see this?
Yes. Yeah, I mean, I knew this was coming because
Strange New Worlds, folks.
Yeah, but
Star Trek.
How's it
Yeah.
going to work? Because they're in the future and Strange New Worlds is in the past, right?
And they're in the
Yeah.
cartoon as well.
yeah,
and
it's whatever it is, it's gonna be stupid. Yeah.
why? I mean,
Why?
'cause
I don't know.
that cartoon was a success then? Why
I
have they
mean-
decided to do this live action?
Lower Decks.
Was the cartoon anyone?
I
watched-
don't. Go ahead. No, you go.
No, go on. You're the guest.
I was just gonna say I've only watched the first 2 seasons, and I didn't think it was that great of Lower Decks. And Strange New Worlds, I mean, it was okay, but it wasn't that great. And I mean, I'm gonna watch Strange New Worlds season 2, but I don't care about this crossover. So what
I
are you
think
gonna do?
that some of the cast haircuts put me off. Put me
Yeah.
off.
Of all things.
Of all things, the haircuts put me off.
Season 2 is going to be more Kurtzman trash. There was a few little warning signs in there, like
Why does that guy look so familiar?
He's from The Boys.
Of
That's Huey.
course,
Huey from The Boys.
Of course. Yes.
I'm just
Yeah.
honestly, I'm just so glad I'm not a Star Trek person because I feel like it's. I mean, I was a Star Wars fan, so I've already lived it as well. But it's just watching the corpse of the thing you love just completely continue to get desecrated is.
Yeah.
Yeah, more Kurtzman Trek. Yeah.
Yeah, plus I think that with adding these lower deck characters onto this show, I think that it just goes to show that they really don't like Star Trek. They just like to,
No, they
to
just
make
don't
fun
understand the source material.
Yeah.
If they've ever read it, that is.
Yeah, and I don't think and going back to that, I don't think that they're fans of Star Trek.
Just
I think that
utter
they're
fucking dog shit.
yeah, I think that they're just making fun of it now, and they're just making fun of actual Star Trek fans that really love the lore and they love what came before. And they're just saying, well, whatever you love doesn't matter. We're just gonna shit all over it, and if you don't like it, well, tough. And it's like
One
okay.
of the only genuine highlights to come out of Discovery, Captain Pike, and now everybody loved the Captain Pike character because it was as close to Star Trek as basically it was Star Trek.
Yeah.
And in his own series, he's been what does he do now? He's the fucking cook,
Right, yeah.
cooking for his underlings. It's like what?
Yeah, there
Utter
are some
bollocks.
there are some things in Star Trek in Strange New Worlds that's I do actually like, but it's not enough to be like this show is amazing. Like it's okay, but I don't think season 2 is going to be good. I mean, just from the trailer. I mean, you've got this. Go ahead.
I was going to say there was one character, Hemmer, the blue Andor,
Yeah.
Andromedan or Andoran.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And they killed him off.
Yeah, I do agree. He was a good character, and they did kill him off, and you're just like, oh well, you just ruined that. But
I keep saying it's the guy that got to play
Tosh.
looks nothing like him. Performs nothing like him. The guy that got to play Captain Kirk, nothing like him. Performs nothing like him. It's total spit in the face to original Star Trek, definitely. And I don't care what anyone says. I was not impressed by that guy who played Pike in Discovery because I hate Discovery. I don't know why they created this show. Good luck to everyone who
Because it was
wants to
good.
watch it.
Here you go, Reniel, Mega Geek. It's shit.
Yeah.
Take
Well,
a drink, everybody.
I've only watched 2 episodes. That was enough for me. I thought, I can't watch this. Absolute nonsense.
There were a couple of half decent episodes, but again, it's just the LA Valley talk.
Who's the girl that plays
Star Trek stuff.
Uhura?
I don't know her name off the top of my head.
But she looks nothing like her.
She does look nothing like her. Yeah.
Absolutely nothing like her. It's like, why
Yeah.
even bother?
Yeah, Ahura was very I'm very slender, very
Yeah.
like petite, and this girl,
Yeah.
she's built like a shit brick house. So
Yeah, I know.
I mean,
Here you go. Donny
Brick house.
says Cecile Gooding.
Is that her name?
You
Yeah.
said it
Yes.
you said it
Yes.
backwards, Matt.
sorry, my bad.
A shit brick house.
You know what I meant. I'm gonna start saying it like that from now on.
Ahura in Strange New Worlds is shit.
I don't know what this. This is a new thing as well. They don't want us to have attractive-looking women on screen anymore. They give us just like horrible-looking women. I just think it's.
I
weird.
don't. Yeah,
I
I
don't
don't
know,
think she's
they-
horrible looking. I just don't think that she's. I just think that
Christina Chong's. Is it Christina? She's hot.
she is hot. Yeah, I just think
Yeah.
that when you're casting from a previous show, I think you should do as much as possible
to avoid it.
Yeah, because if I go and I watch Strange New Worlds, I should be able to go, that's a horror. But you shouldn't have to tell me that that's a horror, and that's not what they did here. So I think it was a misstep in casting.
Here you go, folks. Reniel in the chats. OMG, idea for new segments. Mega Geeks. It's shit. Well, it wouldn't be a segment. It'd be a complete stream, wouldn't it? About 8
Yeah,
hours.
but I mean, it doesn't take long for you to just put up a slide and him go, "It's shit."
Okay.
That's it. Yeah.
Okay, so Ian, before we move on,
What?
your view on this slide in 2 words.
Shit. Yeah. Oh, we getting another Picard series? Are we? I hope not.
It's gone back into the top 10 streaming charts. So it's, in a nutshell, the most successful Star Trek show they've had on streaming.
Mm.
I don't think it's not necessarily that we want to see, familiar Star Trek characters. I think it's just we just want good, well-written Star Trek that is Star Trek. We don't just because you put an Enterprise in there or a character from the past
Or a
in there.
Pike, yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't mean it's Star Trek. It just means you took that character and threw it into a crappy show. So I think that we would like to see familiar Star Trek characters, but only if you are respectful to those characters and what came before.
There you go, folks. Catty, are you available to read a super chat?
100%. From Tyler Miller from $5. Lower Decks is basically a parody, so how does this even make sense? Gonna be awful like the rest of modern Trek. And shout out to the awesome MacCat83. Well, shout out to you, Tyler.
Hi, Miller.
Yeah, his name is Tyler. I know who that is.
No. Why does Picard look like a wax sculpture there?
Then because he's
Engage.
Well, that's what I told him to do when I took the picture. Then it's a publicity picture. I told him to do engage, and he did it. So they took the picture.
I love you, Ohio pigeon. No more engage. I love you, Data.
It's a shame that they didn't make this.
I love you, Data.
Yeah, it would have been so cool if they would have just made season 3, season 1, and then we could have got 2 more seasons of awesomeness.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Also, for the next Star Trek iteration, I'd like to see a white guy, please, in charge of the Enterprise. Well, we do have that.
Well,
But
it's going to be 7 of 9, so she's white anyway.
I mean, might as well do it while she's
1 out of 2
still got it.
ain't bad. Sorry, Dark Hour, I talked over you so much.
That's fine. I was saying, might as well do it while she still got it, while Jerry Ryan still got it.
Well, they need to hurry up. Just
no,
saying.
but purely because it's Joe Ryan and it's 7 of 9, you're gonna get all the politic crap in there. If they want to do another Star Trek, they should start from scratch. That's what I reckon, and not have any characters that we know in there.
I agree.
Completely new crew. That's what they should have.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
I don't know if we're going to see Legacy because they have secret hideout of 3 years before they lose the contract. Paramount know the Star Trek they're bringing out is shite. They know.
The things they
Brilliant.
should have done a long time ago was they should have gave what's his name a series.
Matalis.
and they should get Sulu a series with the Excelsior. That would have been awesome.
Oh,
I think.
my.
That would have been that would have been
That would've
Oh,
awesome.
my.
That's what they should have done, but obviously for
It's too old now.
Yeah,
Anyway.
he's just too old. Yeah.
Oh, my. Let's move on.
Oh, God.
Speaking of too old, Harrison Ford admits Indiana Jones is not so strong, not so stunning and brave, not so attentive in Indiana Jones and the Divorce of Destiny.
So he has dementia.
No, the thing is, I saw bits of the interview, and it was obvious that Harrison Ford wanted to really tell the truth about this film, but he was
It's
restrained.
shite.
He had a restraining bolt on him, and he couldn't really
dear.
say what was on his mind. It's obvious that this film is exactly what people think it's going to be. So there you go.
You had a chance to go see it.
I did, but I couldn't. I was working, unfortunately.
Look at you.
Damn it, Janet. Yeah. Apparently, that little kid there is like Short Round. He's like a diverse
swapped.
short round. Race swap.
Gee,
Yes, because Short Round wasn't diverse already.
my
Exactly.
God.
They should have brought that actor back in here and let him take up the mantle. That
Oscar
would be
winner,
great.
by the way.
That would
Yeah.
be
He
great.
loves the legacy of the fact that he was in those movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That would have been a great idea if they had
In
done
the,
that.
the one movie,
Oscar
sorry.
winner. There you go. 3 indie films. Yeah.
Very true. Very true.
I
Yeah.
don't think I'm going to go see this. I was going to. I don't think I'm going to bother now.
I was thinking about it just
No,
because
I'm going to
for the-
avoid out of principle.
Right on. Well, I need the content, so
No, you don't. Just go to India.
There's 2 films I want to go and see, which nobody. Well, the Rodriguez film, Hypnosis. Anybody heard of that?
No.
Yeah, so he's got this film out. Ben Affleck is the star. It's called Hypnosis.
Oh, I saw the trailer for it.
It
looked
looks interesting. I might go
Yeah.
and see that tomorrow. Actually, I might go and see that. But nobody's talking about that film, and it's Robert Rodriguez.
I
It's
heard it
really
was
weird.
bad though.
Oh, is it bad?
I'm trying to remember. I think I saw one review and it said it was pretty bad.
Oh, okay. Because I didn't even know it existed until I looked on the Cineworld site and I saw it on there. I was like, oh, this is Robert Rodriguez's film, so I might go and see it tomorrow.
Yeah, if I want to say it's on digital, but don't quote me on that because I can't remember. If it is on digital, I might watch it there. I'm not going to the theater to watch it.
Okay.
Here you go, folks. Titan, will Indy 5 or The Flash do worse?
Indy 5.
Indy 5, yeah.
Indy 5,
Yeah.
definitely.
I think it's dead on arrival.
Nobody's
don't you?
excited for this movie. I haven't met anybody that's excited
Not
for
now.
this movie. I mean, yeah.
According to Lucasfilm, thousands and millions of people are excited to see this
There's
film.
dozens of them out there. Dozens.
No, look, you know what? A lot of people's going to go and see this film and they're going to come out disappointed.
Oh,
That's
for
what's
sure.
gonna happen, yeah.
the drop off from week 1 to 2 is going to be insanity.
Right.
People in the chat, you going to see this? I don't think I'm going to bother. Any of you are going to go see it in the chats?
This may end up being the most pirated movie in the history of movies.
Indiana
agree,
Jones
I
and
agree.
the Seven Seas.
Maybe that's how I'll see it. Maybe.
I'm going to go and see it. I have to see it properly. I have to see it in the cinema and see what it's like.
That's a do you guys think that if this movie bombs,
Which is
do
gonna-
you think that this will be the final straw for Kathleen Kennedy, or do you think her stream of luck she'll just fail upwards again?
She'll go and guess first, and then I'll say my bit. I was getting carried away then. Sorry, guys.
I think no matter what happens, they're still going to embrace her.
I agree. I think that she's safe no matter what.
Dark Hour.
I don't think she's safe, but I don't think they're going to make it a public fight. I think it would be one of 2 things. It would either be she would be like promoted to get her away from projects,
That's a good point. Yeah.
or she would be encouraged to retire behind the scenes.
When do you think this would happen though? Like, what's the time frame?
Tomorrow.
It would,
42.
if this flops that badly, they're going to want to do it before she can start production on those Star Wars films that she.
Well, they're not going to get made anyway. Lord.
She'll go on forever.
Yeah, I think so.
Every time anybody ever says Kathleen Kennedy will be sacked within, I just think, nah, she's not gonna. At some point in time, no, I think Dark Hour. More seriously, Dark Hour is probably right that it will not be a public firing. It will. She is of age where retirement is not going to seem entirely out
70.
of place. So she's still got a contract to run out. I think it might be more a case that the contract is not renewed as opposed to her being actively canned.
Yeah, but
you go.
there was a strong rumor from this guy named Doomcock.
Indiana
I'll stop
Jones
there.
and the Cock of Doom.
Here you go, folks. Week 13 for £5. That's real money. I think they should call Indiana Jones 5 Back to the Fuhrer. I'd watch that.
Yeah, that's actually a better name.
I wonder how much that book he got signed would be worth.
By Hitler.
Yeah, Mr. Hister.
Hilter. I think that KK will get promoted upwards, and while Bob Igor is watching a Elton John concert on a Sunday night, will get fired. And Monday morning, KK will be in charge of Disney. You heard it first, folks. Timestamp it.
That's kind of what I just
Hashtag Mr. Brown was right.
but like a
You
more
heard it
specific version.
first. Yes. KK in charge of Disney.
She's gonna. Look, if this film doesn't make any money, she's gonna get fired. And I agree with whoever said it. I think it was I think it might have been Ben or Dark Hour. They'll probably hide the shame and say she's retiring, or she's and she'll just leave that way.
Fade in.
I
Yeah,
like the idea that Bob Iger puts her in a fishing boat and sends her out onto a lake, and then the camera cuts to Bob Iger and you hear the gunshot.
is that when she's fishing? Like Godfather 2.
Back of the head. Okay.
Back of the head, yeah. I don't know.
Let's
I feel
move
sorry for all those people that were involved in that production. I really do.
I don't feel sorry for this woman on the left.
They must have
Speaking
put
of
their heart
Kathleen
and soul
Kennedy,
into it.
she's in this.
Lucasfilm president Kathleen Kennedy says that while Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny marks Indy's final bow, the larger franchise could potentially continue on the small screen at some point.
Yeah. I mean, she would say that. I mean, at this point, she'll say anything. But can I ask a question? Why are they trying to make Phoebe Waller-Bridge happen? I don't understand why they're pushing her so hard. I mean, like, everybody raves about Fleabag. I've never seen it, so I don't know if it's good. But besides Fleabag, has she done anything? I mean, and what's that show with the assassin in it?
Killing Eve?
Killing Eve. For season 1 was good of Killing Eve. But after that, it fell off a cliff. It's just terrible. Mm-hmm. But I'm all like, what has this woman done to make everybody at Disney or anybody anywhere go,
Don't know.
Let's put our faith in her and have her do all this stuff? Like she's not that hot. I mean, and she, like, writing wise, okay, she might be able to write something good, but then it bombs miserably after a season. But I'm just like, why are they pushing her on us? Like, we want this. We don't want it. We've spoken. So
Don't know.
I think
Women
it was
power.
on Open Bar this past week where they were discussing her, and it was like she's just the next British person that America has latched onto, or something like that.
James Corden.
Yeah,
They
Corden
sent him
was
back.
then, and it was
Sent him back.
Simon Pegg.
Yeah, Simon Pegg was there for a while. There was a bunch. Like, it seems like every like 5 to 8 years, there's just like a random British actor or comedian that just the United States just latches onto.
There you go.
There is
Punchable
that.
face.
I think
Waller
part of it-
Bridge
Sorry, after you.
is the AOC of entertainment.
yeah.
That's too harsh. I think part of it is that Waller-Bridge had 2 separate examples where she once was able to do female-led comedies that men also enjoyed. Mm-hmm. So I think she was picked up at the time because we've seen many attempts at female-led, female-written comedies that just bomb, and here was someone who was able to do those in a way that seemed to be successful for audiences of both sexes. I think she's lost that ability since, but I do think that's why she was picked up to begin with, because it's not actually a very common talent. It's just that she lost the rest of her talent basically as soon as she was given money.
Fleabag was absolute shit. I'm sorry. I watched the whole of that
Take a
series,
drink, everybody.
right? I watched the whole of that series, and I didn't laugh once, right? I thought the character was distasteful and I didn't warm to her. Not one single moment of that show was any good at all. And I reckon what it is that one person says it's good, other people kind of like it. It's like a cancer; it grows in the industry, and then
Ooh.
suddenly she's elevated to this point, and then Americans get persuaded she's good because she's English, and they take her on, and that's what's happened basically. It's kind of
Can confirm that
posh accent, isn't it?
can confirm that America does fall in love with an English accent pretty
Yeah.
That's
Um,
true. Yeah, we
Lord,
do.
I think you need to move to the States, mate.
Most of my audience is American already.
We
so don't
already
need to
love
move.
love his voice. Yes, we already love.
I don't know about you. I think Matt's got the best accent on this.
Yeah. Hello, Governor.
I guess technically by the standards, we're outnumbered 3-2.
That's true.
3-2.
Yeah, that's
we have
true.
the accent here.
Yeah,
Could
for sure.
we could we all move to Texas or Florida?
It
No,
would be fun.
I want to talk
Yeah.
like Matt.
Great
I think you guys would actually get.
Oh, I have
get
a-
along
I
pretty
have
well
a-
in those.
I live in Michigan, and I've been told that us Michiganders, we have a nasally accent. So, and I agree, we do have a nasally accent.
The
so-
further north you get, too.
for
it's
sure,
like-
yeah,
you know,
absolutely, yeah. But thank you, Mega Geek. I appreciate it.
Here you go, Drew Gordon in the chat. I read the synopsis of Fleabag. It sounds awful.
It really is. It's a really horrible character she created there. She's horrible to everyone, and she doesn't care. She only cares about herself. Very selfish character. And I thought, why am I watching this? It's absolute
Yeah.
nonsense.
Well, and I never saw that show, but I did. Killing Eve is season 1
good.
is
Yeah, it's
very
good.
good. It's very good. But then at season 2, I was like, oh, that wasn't that great. And then season 3 was just terrible. I stopped after that because I was like, I can't do this anymore. I was like, it's bad.
So looking at this picture of her here, like
Mm-hmm.
the one that we have up, I think I kind of identified why Disney is pushing her so hard. She was in Solo. She's in this. She has the exact body that they want every character
Oh,
to have.
boyish.
Just just a streamline, no curves body. That's exactly what Disney wants every one of their characters to look like. So that's probably it. Like,
But the blame shouldn't really be on her. It should be on Harrison Ford. Harrison Ford, he read the script, right? He knew what they were doing to Indiana Jones
He could have
because
said
there's no
no.
way, and he accepted the money. The only
could have
reason
said
why
no.
he did this film is because he accepted the money, and
Yeah,
he
that's a good
is
point.
responsible for destroying the memory of Indiana Jones.
Okay, so what we're saying is don't blame Wallerbridge.
No, well,
she's only
part
part
of
of it.
Yeah.
Blame the gentleman on the
yeah,
right.
I don't think you can blame the person that they bring in. You blame
Yeah.
the person who allows it to happen.
Yes.
basically.
Because he could have said
I blame
no.
them all. I blame
He
them
could have
all.
said no.
He could have said no, yeah. And also he was in a great position to say no, unlike Mark Hamill that got duped into playing
Yes.
Luke Skywalker. Harrison Ford's a huge star. He could have said, I think this script is absolute nonsense. You're destroying the character that's beloved by millions. He could have said that, but no, he didn't say that because the check was so big.
New
And
plane, you
that's why
see.
he
Here you
did
go,
it.
punchable face. Yeah, she's a bit androgynous. That's the word
She
for it,
is, yeah,
folks.
she is. She has the gall to call herself beautiful in that clip. I'm like, beautiful where?
She's
Where-
about
where
as
are you?
average,
Within-
face
within.
wise as you could possibly get.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's very average.
Like she's not ugly, but she's not like she's just like if there was a picture in the dictionary for like solid 5, that's what she's right there.
Right
I
on.
won't even give her 5.
I'm just saying she's like very average. There's like
yeah,
nothing.
I agree. Yeah,
She looks spitting an image of one of my exes. But anyway, let's move on.
Who's this? He looks very feminine. Who's
Usually
this
it's
guy?
Timothy Chalamet.
June Star. Is it Dune or is it June?
Dune, if you want to be
Dune.
precise, but most people
Yes.
say June.
Dune.
What's he starring in
Star.
apart from
He
that?
is in
Timothy
Dune. He's been in what's his name? Wes Anderson's most recent thing. I think he was in
Of
that, The
course.
French
Asteroid
Dispatch.
City, which I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to.
He was in Interstellar when he was younger. He was Call Me by Your Name.
right.
He's in a lot of stuff, and in the right part, he's quite a good actor. But he's also playing Willy Wonka coming up, which is what this story's about.
Oh, is he?
And I can't see. Well, I think he wants to do a different take on the character, which is not necessarily a bad thing. I'm still struggling to see him as Willy Wonka.
I agree.
I think that this quote is slightly misinterpreted. I did read the Bounding Into Comics article when it came out. I think they're drawing a link between his idea of the character and the themes that he's touching on in terms of climate and political rhetoric. My impression of reading what he actually said was he wanted to give people an optimistic character because the real world is like that to him, as opposed to he wants to give people a character who responds to those things in the film, which I think is what Bounding into Comics read into his quote, but I could be wrong about that.
But isn't he's too young to play him though?
Well, it's a prequel.
A prequel.
Of course.
Yeah,
it
to
is.
the Willy Wonka. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
So
okay.
I a small piece of me thinks he's not got the factory yet in this movie, but I'm not interested in this movie at all. I don't need another Willy Wonka movie.
Willy Wonka, more like hello, Bishop. Willy Wonka, more like Willy Wonka.
I think there's a porn parody called that. Yeah, but
Although there is actually a quote in the article, which I can't remember. I can't find it off the top of my head. I think the quote actually that's listed there said he wants to give people, and I quote, an optimistic, youthful, hopeful Willy. I think it said, as opposed to figure, which is just yeah, I'm
Hopeful
not,
Willy. Brilliant. Yep. That says it all, really. Let's face it.
But what if this comes out and it's just like super awesome? Like it's such a good movie. I'm
Well, like
like,
the Flash.
Who's the female that's starring opposite him then?
I honestly don't know anybody else in the movie. Does
Because-
anybody else?
I reckon it's going to be female in it, and she's going to point him in the right direction. She's going to create the chocolate, and then he's, you know what I mean?
That's a good
He's going
point.
to be the side.
That's a good point.
Who's going to play Augustus Gloop? Will it be Lizzo?
I'd watch
Because
that. though.
that will tick the boxes on every level.
She's gonna play the blueberry girl, but after she turns into the blueberry.
just looking.
But
up
this
the
is
cast
a
now.
prequel, isn't
Violet.
It
Violet
is,
was the-
yeah.
It's also apparently got Rowan Atkinson in it, Hugh Grant, Matt Lucas,
it?
Olivia
Oh, I love
Colman.
Hugh Grant.
So it's got quite an established and quite well respected cast.
Yeah, I've only seen a handful of pictures from it, and they all have Timothy Chalamet in it. I haven't seen anybody else from this movie, like in terms of set photos and stuff.
Why does he look so feminine, though? He looks very feminine.
He's just lucky, I
Because you
guess.
just stared at Phoebe Waller-Bridge for a while.
Oh, I see,
Down the
okay.
middle.
It's just
That
the way
explains
of
that
people
then.
nowadays, isn't it? Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Not interested, but Dune 2, definitely.
Dune. I am excited for Dune Part 2, though.
Yes.
Ooh.
Oh, where did this one come from? This wasn't in the file.
Yeah, this just popped on before it came on. Critical Drinker, I do believe we know that person, don't we?
I met him a couple times.
Henry Cavill was, well, it says here, the original article says, The Witcher's Mercia Simpson,
Simon.
who plays Francesca Finderbear.
Finderbear, I think that is.
Yeah.
This is the
believes
greatest slide ever.
Henry Cavill's exit won't affect the show too much.
Oh, really? Okay.
There's going to be more exciting things that are going to happen. I think the show is still going to be great.
I mean, it's not great now, and it's got Henry Cavill in it. You're not going to improve it by replacing him with the Hemsworth brother no one remembers the first name of.
Well, friend of the channel, Critical Drinker, I think he took exception to that. It says Henry Cavill was literally the only thing making this clusterfuck of a show even vaguely tolerable. His exits will kill it. Stone dead.
Yeah.
I mean, that sums it up right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what does he know?
Yeah, Will, what do you know?
What has that guy done? Come
Yeah,
on.
exactly. What has he done?
To be fair, though, they have sort of smoothed the thing already because he's barely in season 2 as it is.
Yeah.
The Witcher is not really a story about The Witcher as they've put it on the screen. So his presence, well, his absence probably won't be as noticeable as it would be had they actually made the show about him, which they should have done to begin with. But
Right.
you know, Drinker is right. He was the only thing worth watching about it. But at least it won't be a huge quality drop because he's barely in it to begin with.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like seeing that actress, that main actress. I like seeing her naked. That was nice.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, more
Is
of that.
Hemsworth in this?
Not. I think season 3. Isn't Henry Cavill the one in season 3, and then he's doing season 4.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think that's right.
the Hemsworth kid.
Will it get cancelled after 3, or are they going to go through with it?
Well, they've signed him on, so
Yeah.
one would assume that they have fairly firm plans to make season 4.
Yeah,
So
they'll
is he
go
just
through with
playing
it.
his character? Is he?
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, they'll go through with it because they'll test their luck to see if people will really bail or if they'll be on there and watch to see what happens.
Nobody's interested, are they?
I'm not interested in it without Henry Cavill, but I'm not gonna lie. I'll probably watch the first episode to see if it's a train wreck or not. So
I'm not going to watch it at all.
Rip
You-
Cavill.
you gonna watch the last season with Cavill in it though?
Do you know, I've never seen
No.
so many calculons in succession ever. I think everybody's triggered by this.
They're slowly making their way into other streams. So.
Yes.
So so what is Henry's next project then? Because they seem to
Warhammer.
Yeah,
Warhammer.
Warhammer for
okay.
Amazon.
Yes,
Gotcha,
Liam.
Gotcha.
Gosh, I hope that's good.
Which, if he follows the strictly to the lore as much as people say, he's going to have to grow like 9 feet, like 3 more feet tall and be 9 feet tall.
What?
Oh well, that's like the what is it? The Space Marines are like essentially like enormous human beings that are
But he's
9 feet tall.
he's in charge of this, isn't he? The Warhammer thing.
yeah.
He's
so,
like
yes.
some sort of executive producer.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right.
Mega Spider-Man, Spidey-Man, rest in peace, Witchelon.
Cavill.
Cavill, yeah.
Here you go, Atom Grey. Hemsworths are the new Baldwins.
Yeah, sort of, kind of, actually.
Yeah. He's hoping they don't go on a set and somebody gets shot.
Oh, you guys, that reminds me of that Family Guy episode where
They bombed the Baldwins.
with
No,
the Baldwins.
That was South Park. Sorry.
Oh, South Park, where he's like, come on, guys, they're like breastfeeding the younger Baldwins.
That was Family Guy. I was thinking the
Oh,
bomb
okay.
the Baldwins thing was South Park.
Oh, and he's like, Steve, you first, because nobody can. You're the weakest.
As we've said previously, Cavill is the most unluckiest actor.
Yeah, and everybody says he's hard to work with, but it just sounds like he's just like, hey guys, this isn't how it is in the book, and people don't like that. And I go, is that really difficult to work with? Because somebody says your thing isn't very good. I'm like,
Well, there is a thing that they say that the people that play Superman is always cursed, aren't they?
oh, that is a good point.
Yeah. So, I mean, Fugly Superman hasn't done anything wrong yet, but it's coming, isn't
Not
it? Let's
yet.
face it.
According to you, he was just born with an ugly face. Pre-cursed, so.
It wasn't my doing; it was Rennie's doing.
Yeah.
She's the one who
Fugly,
said
yeah,
it's
yeah.
Fugly Superman.
He's not fugly. He's hot. He's hot. I'm sorry. Guys,
I just
roll.
think he should. He
Shave.
should get rid of the 5 o'clock shadow.
I do agree with that.
Yeah, that's
I
the
don't.
thing. What does me?
But
Superman shouldn't have 5 o'clock shadow.
I agree with that. I do agree with that.
His face is too angular. He doesn't look like a Superman at all.
What?
No, he just needs to get rid of that 5 o'clock
Superman
shadow.
has got like a pretty angular jaw in the
Yeah, yeah.
comics.
He's got a
By the way.
square jaw, though. That's the thing this guy hasn't. So.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on.
Sorry,
Yeah.
people aren't built that way.
And finally,
And finally,
This happened the beginning of the week, but it seems a long time ago now.
oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
shame.
it is a shame. Love Tina Turner.
I find it so weird nowadays that like you just get these announcements on your phone, like person's dead.
Right?
Sorry to ruin your day.
It's exactly what it is. Because you're just like, you do a deeper, you're like,
Tina Turner, everybody.
yeah.
She went through a lot of crap before she was
did.
established as her own person. You know. So.
Yeah. She looks
Yeah.
pretty good in that right hand picture for being older. She looks
Yeah,
pretty
man,
good.
black don't crack, mate.
That-
Tell you
that's
for
true,
nothing. There you
Yeah.
go.
I mean, I didn't see pictures of her before her death, but yeah, she looks pretty. She looks good in that one.
She was so talented. It was crazy,
Crazy, yeah.
wasn't it?
Yeah.
Absolutely crazy how talented she was. She even picked up acting pretty fast as well, didn't she?
Yeah.
I mean, not that she was all right in the Mad Max film. She wasn't,
She was
wasn't
Beyond
terrible.
Thunderdome, right? Or-
She was 83, by the way, folks.
Mm.
Switzerland, didn't it? She died in Switzerland.
Yeah.
What?
Wasn't she?
Dignitas.
Didn't she change her citizenship?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got tired of Hollywood.
Right
I'm
on.
not shocked by that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're tired of Hollywood, aren't you?
Yes, very much so.
Thinking man's joke there, everybody.
Yeah, and I mean, she was an incredible talent, let's face it, and
Yeah.
great legs. My God, even
For
when she
sure.
was in her 70s, her legs were freaking awesome. So yeah. Great Bond theme that she was part of
GoldenEye.
as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
GoldenEye.
trending the day after GoldenEye. Yeah.
Yeah, really good.
Yeah, rest in peace.
Yeah.
Well, she's with Calculon now.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's not forget Ray. Is it Ray Stevens as well?
Ray Stevens, yep, he
Yeah, Ray
died as
Stevens,
well.
yeah.
Yep.
Did they say how he died?
No,
He realized he was in Ahsoka.
he played
He-
Punisher, didn't he? At one
Yep.
point.
He did, yeah.
He fell ill one day on set.
Mm.
One day he was fine, and then the following day he fell ill.
Mm.
Was rushed to hospital, and he died.
That's so weird. Yeah.
This goes to prove, isn't it?
Yeah.
Anyone.
Ronnie, I'm just going to point out that you have 1:15 to get this exactly 3 hours. And I
By you telling me that, it's probably going to take me over. But I think that is it. So rest in peace, Tina Turner.
Yeah.
I think that is it. Let's have a look. In fact, I know it's it. There you go. I will say apologies for the brownout at the beginning. The Lord stepped in like he does. Good lad. Chat, you are wonderful. Some fantastic comments tonight, especially the person who triggered the Lord. That was great.
It wasn't one person. A, I wasn't triggered. B,
Well,
it was
it's
like
everybody.
15 of them. I love you all anyway.
So, chat, you are wonderful. Always bringing your A game. Great to see you all. Yes, and timing. I will thank the guests. Ian, thank you, my friend.
No worries. No worries.
Dark Hour, cheers, my friend.
Thank you.
Catty, great to have you on, mate.
Always have a good time. Thanks for having me.
The Lord, everybody. Cheers, Ben.
Thank you as ever.
And Brown Jones at the top. That's me. I think that is it, folks. We're back on. Well, some of us are going to be back tomorrow for B-Sup.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Are you on
topics?
B-Sup tomorrow?
I'm not.
Oh,
Not that I
thought you
know
were.
of.
I'm not either.
Cynic has handled
I
the
think I
guest thing
am.
this week. Yeah, I think, you are, aren't you, Matt? I think, yeah.
I think
otherwise
you're talking lots of mermaid stuff.
there will be Little
you not?
Mermaid. There will
Yeah.
probably be Flash predictions. There might be Indy 5 predictions. I haven't actually looked at the topics yet, but there will be stuff. There will be stuff.
There will
To
be
cap off
stuff,
my
everybody.
third consecutive day of multi-hour streaming.
Who else is on?
We've got 15
I don't
seconds.
remember. Cynic did tell me, but I've forgotten. So
Okay.
it's people.
Okay.
People.
I think that's it, folks. I'm going to be back on Wednesday for part 2 of Phantom Menace. So I
Yeah, I
think
can't
that's
wait.
it. Have a great bank holiday. Is it Memorial Day as well in the States?
It
It
is. It is.
Okay, happy Memorial Day, everybody. So I think that's it. We'll see you either tomorrow or on the Wednesday. And I think we should do a show called See You Next Tuesday. But anyway, that's it. We're out of here. Take care, everybody. See you soon.
Bye.